Check 1 2 1 2, bitch.
Hey, we're back, motherfuckers. iLLogical. What up, everyone? This is Mr. Busby.
And over here is JC No Hat.
And Martine.
Yo, I'm only saying one word at a time now in this intro.
That's not one word, that's like five
Hey
words.
man, I said yo.
You gotta get it when you
I
get
got
it.
that one in first.
And we back. After a whole ass week off, we back.
Yep.
I wish I could say I was coming off vacation, but you know.
Yeah, we told y'all we were gonna take a week off.
Yeah.
But this is episode 98?
Yeah.
Yeah, 98 of the Illogical Sense podcast.
Yes, sir.
So how was y'all week off?
I wish I could say I was on vacation.
Same here.
Week off?
We had life.
Yeah.
We didn't record, but
I ain't have no week off.
We all had life
definitely wasn't
shit
a week
to
off.
deal with. We all had stuff to deal with. Actually recorded on a Sunday for once.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a nice, beautiful day.
August the 5th.
As we're recording this, you know, you got to put the time capsule on this shit. But
My week was good though. Started a new job. So
that's what's up.
Yeah.
Calvin got a job.
yeah, I was a Calvin got a job ass nigga, man.
That's what I always say when every time my boys, like one of my friends, always level up. I'm like, oh, Calvin got a job. Oh man, that's Chappelle shit. Every time a black person gets something, it's Calvin got a job.
Give me a hell yeah!
But you know who needs a job or needs something to get her life together? Demi Lovato.
Yeah. So of course, we missed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So we're
And
trying
everything
to
dropped Monday. When we didn't record, everything decided, all the headline stories decided to drop on Monday. Like, okay.
Right. So we're going to go through about as much as we can, at least have relevance.
If we care.
Right. So,
If we don't talk about it, that's
right. But Demi Lovato was definitely a hot topic last week.
no pun intended.
Definitely
Hot
no
ass
pun
spoon.
intended. Yeah. My take on that situation was, well, wish for the best. And, you know.
Well, pretty much, if y'all don't know, Demi Lovato was found unconscious in her house, and the initial report was she was overdosed on heroin. And I was like, well, damn.
Yeah.
I hope she didn't die. And they said she was responsive, and now reports are coming out. Later on, it came out, it wasn't heroin, it was meth. Well, that's even better. Yeah. And she's always going up and down with her drug habits and shit like that. She even released a song like last month called Sober, where she said, when she pretty much revealed to everyone that she relapsed and she's going through shit and she needs help.
Right.
But damn, how the hell can you relapse and then after that be like, fuck it?
Meth.
Light, wish we had like a light flicker like the Lil Wayne. Just
This'll do for now.
Damn.
blow up our house. Gonna get a spoon.
Breaking Bad.
I guess. But yeah, I wish her the best, man. I hope she really finds help.
No, for sure. I mean, you definitely don't want to wish that on anybody. Hope nothing but success for them. In this case, definitely want to get her into rehab. What I noticed, though, was there was a large outcry on her behalf. I didn't see that same energy when it was Lamar Odom a few years ago.
He was smoking crack.
Yeah.
He was on crack.
So
I love that sound
I did notice that.
I love that sound. But you decide to pick Lamar Odom, who was on crack.
Yeah.
Hey, I like Demi Lovato. She was hot as hell when she's on crack. No.
It's too far.
We didn't go that far. We've seen worse. Before we even recorded, we watched that little clip that was surfing, that was all over the internet on Twitter of the Jacksons performing, and was it Marlon? It was one of the Jacksons, Marlon or one of them, and he was just feeling himself, just grinding and just grinding, and then
grinding his gears.
Like it was like he was in his own world, and Michael and the rest of them just looking at him like.
You know what's the funny part of that? Was the wind up for it when he's just
and it's building up, and Michael looking at him,
and then it goes to Jermaine. Jermaine just goes,
this nigga high as fuck, and then Michael's like, "We're just," and he starts grinding with him, and then he stops. And I think at that very moment he knew, this is why I'm going off. This is why I'm leaving y'all niggas.
That was the end of that, as far as we know.
Yep, and then because he was still touring with them when Thriller came out. Can you imagine selling all them units, then your whole brothers?
Yeah, and then you got to go on tour with your brothers,
and then you have to help them, and they're still looking at you like you the baby. Nigga, you know how much I fucking sold? Whole ass. Anyway, if we continue on, Beyonce made some news. Why she's still touring with Hove, with her husband, which I'm still contemplating if I'm going to go or not. The report came out that she has complete control of the September issue of Vogue.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and they say this is the first time. No, not with Beyonce, but she hired somebody named Tyler Mitchell,
who is 23 years old, and he's going to be the first black cover photographer in their 126-year history. So
126 years.
Hey, black excellence. Round of applause for that.
Beyonce personally picked this person as their first full assignment. So, Beyonce be watching y'all, man. Beyonce and Hov, they got like burner accounts. They be watching.
Oh, yeah. That's a good look, though. Oh, yeah. She's basically serving as chief editor. She's pretty much taking over the whole issue. And
Whitner just gave her the keys.
Right.
So she was like, yep.
September is going to pretty much be a Beyonce issue, not just with the photo spread, but in terms of
everything, the content and everything.
Right.
It's pretty much album promo for her next initial release. It's going to be hella black. It's going to look like the fucking bougie-ass Jet magazine.
Wakanda.
Wakanda is not real, man. Let it die. Let it turn to ash like Black Panther. Oh yeah, that's out on DVD now or Blu-ray.
It's been out for a while.
No, I'm not that. Avengers.
Oh, okay.
Infinity War. Yeah. Anyway, who's really starting to grow on me now, and I can't believe I'm saying this.
Oh God.
Who do you think I'm gonna say? Drake?
Well, I hope not.
I just wanted to say that just to make Martine just get up and leave. Oh, there goes Martine.
Yep.
Just throws his headphones down and just leaves.
Hell no, I'm taking my headphones with me. Shit.
Well, he just unhooked his headphones and nah, but 6ix9ine is kind of growing on me. I know.
Yeah.
I heard it. Pause.
No, I wasn't saying that. I was gonna give it double because I was gonna say, yeah, his antics and his trolling and some of his music, it's actually starting to grow on me too. So high five. Joke's on us.
But he's not doing the gang shit no more. He's not trolling like gang people and shit no more. He's actually after Triple X died and after he got robbed, he's slowly starting to rebrand himself, which I'm starting to notice. After the Angie interview, and I kind of started looking at him on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, so you funny. Oh, you pretty funny now. I'm like, okay. And I'm just kind of seeing the shit he's doing, and I'm like, okay, so you know what you're doing. Okay. Yeah,
right. Well, if you remember back in February or March, whenever he did the Breakfast Club interview, whatever episode that was afterwards, I had said it looked like he was in control of that.
Yeah,
like
everyone
he knew what he was doing with that.
And
as the months have gone by,
especially the Angie interview, he really had control of that whole. He knew what he was talking about, but he knows how to manipulate shit. You can't manipulate me, nigga. I know what you were doing.
So one thing I appreciated that there was no hiding what he was doing when he broke down the Fifi record. He's like, I just go in there, I just say shit. And reason why I appreciate that is because there was another artist years ago who said that, and I became one of his biggest fans. It was Waka.
Yeah. As long as they acknowledge what they're doing is bullshit and they know it's bullshit and they're telling us how stupid their fans are and shit.
I can rock with that.
Same with OG Mako. That's why I had all respect when he said niggas are idiots. Yep. I'm like, I like this dude because he knows niggas are idiots.
Right. But he trolled them motherfuckers and then he started rapping.
rapping. And then niggas just stopped talking about him. I mean, he still has a core fan base and he's still touring and dropping music. But after Bitch You Guessed It, and then he actually... Yeah, damn.
You was right.
And then when he started showing his real music, that's when all the fucking hype beasts kind of drifted away from him.
They drifted away, and I started drifting towards, like, okay.
Yeah, like real niggas drifted towards him. And they showed he wasn't stupid. Speaking of stupid.
But before that, 6ix9ine...
That's what I'm saying. I'm leading into...
Well, no, but he's becoming more likable, but then now he's also... He's getting real close with 50.
Yes. They're dropping a record called "Get the Strap."
Yeah,
that was wow. Yeah, it's supposedly debuted on this week's Power. We haven't watched it yet, and right now I'm kind of in that. I'm kind of losing interest. slowly.
I haven't lost interest.
I mean, not lose, but
you may have. For me, I haven't seen it yet.
I know, but not losing. But it's just like I'm not in a rush to watch it. You know what I mean? Sense. It's like you niggas are better than this. But yeah, when we talk about 6ix9ine, he's getting close with 50, and he got a number 4 record with Fifi. Yeah, jokes on us on that one. There are a lot of stupid motherfuckers in this world.
I mean, but you put him together. He has his fan base. You put him with Nicki's fan base,
and you go to number 4, not 1.
I mean, don't exclude Murder Beats, man.
Murder Beats is starting.
That beat was dope.
Yeah, they played that in the bar last night, and I kind of stopped and just looked at the DJ. Turn this shit off. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a hoe by her. Fuck out of here.
But going back real quick, speaking on Power, of course we had Kendrick. He made his debut on episode 5 last week.
Yeah, last week's episode.
And he did pretty good.
Yeah. People were surprised he was a good actor. I'm not surprised. I mean, if you see how he performs and he puts everything into it.
When you see his performances, when you see his music videos, it was...
It's funny. Me and my mom got into a whole argument because I was telling him, because she's like a Kendrick fan now. Right. She's not a fan of no other rapper, maybe Jay-Z or Snoop, but she really likes Kendrick. And I told her he was going to be on Power. It's like, oh, what is he playing? A crackhead. And she was like, oh, that's why they got to do our people like that. Why he's a brilliant ass man. Why does he have to? I was like, Mommy, he's just acting.
He was doing what? Come again? He was smoking crack.
He was on crack. It wasn't like he was trying to win an Emmy or anything. But they said he was in development for like a long time. So he just and he really wanted to be on the show. Oh, if anything, it's probably just like almost like a showcase to other production.
I mean, his chemistry with 50, because he played Laces, and then of course Kanan. That was actually a really good combo. Mm-hmm. Funny as when the first hit, when he's trying to sell him on whatever he was selling him on the street. Yeah. And just see Kanan rolling on this bike like
my nigga,
new age Debo.
Oh yeah. And then shot him
right then and there. And then the funniest part of the whole episode was when he was talking about, I think it was the second hit, and he was talking about astrology, whatever the hell he was talking about, and then he was saying, "Don't think about that shit too hard, man. Should have blow your mind." And then Kanan comes out of nowhere and pops him in the head and he goes, he thought about it too hard.
I just like when he just showed up with his hair half nappy and shit. He's like, my nigga. And I paused it, took a picture, and I was like, this is a Pulitzer Prize winner. Yep. You a nigga, Poppy. They were promoting the fuck out of that on social media. Every time I kept scrolling down, I kept seeing Kendrick's face as Laces. I'm like, oh, I know what y'all doing. Mm-hmm. You really trying to showcase. Yeah. Anyway,
let's props up to him. Round of applause on that.
Yeah. Let's go back to this Fifi record. This is Nicki's highest charted song, period, right now. Since all those other remixes and features, this is her highest charted song. It came in at number 4.
Should we say of this current run?
This current run that she's doing. This is her highest charted record. So, also it got announced that 6ix9ine is going to be touring with Nicki and Future. And I was like,
They still got 2 more people they got to announce, right?
Yeah.
There's 2, yeah.
I wonder who's going to be. Somebody we ain't going to be seeing. So
it ain't going to be Ariana Grande.
Watch it actually be that. That'll be some funny shit.
Man, talk about everybody taking steps backwards.
Imagine Ariana Grande opening up for Nicki Minaj in the future. God. Nah, but the reason why we bring up Ariana Grande is I was really looking forward to next week's episode. Really looking forward because I thought that's when Nicki was going to drop. And I was going to roast the shit out of it. But I think she got word of it, so she pushed her album back yet another week. The reason why she released it another week, she's pushing it back another week, is because she has she said she had a sample clearance. It was a sample clearance or some shit with some person, and they didn't approve it on time. And she really loves the record, and it features a quote unquote legendary artist that spills a lot of quote unquote tea. So she put up a poll on her Twitter, and it said, "Okay, what should I do, people, my barbs, babies? Should I?" The first one said, add the song, push the album, goes back a week, or take out the song, drop the album next week. And she just didn't wait. She just said, oh, album coming out next week, and she just released a whole 20-track playlist of all her fucking greatest hits.
What kind of shit is that?
I mean, if I was a fan, I'll be irritated. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you announcing this shit?
Yeah, I think the record, if I'm not mistaken, is Tracy Chapman's Fast Car.
It is?
I want to.
It's just Chasey Chapman. That's what it all. That's all it is. It's just a Chasey Chapman.
I'm gonna look that up right now.
They didn't specify what it was. It was just a Chasey Chapman sample, and she didn't clear it on time. And I was just like, and Nicki really loves the record. And then she goes on Twitter just the other day and said, what did she say? Some bullshit. Oh, yeah, I rearranged the track list since we last talked. It's perfect now.
Perfect.
Yeah. Perfect, quote unquote. And then someone retweeted that and put, superstars don't be saying this type of shit.
They don't. Why are you announcing that to the public?
Because she's insecure. And I just don't understand why she gonna put, like you were telling me, her people are fucking stupid. I'm not gonna blame her people. I think her people tried to tell her, like, no, you need to.
Everybody in that group was stupid. If you willingly walked out of that room and said, I'm not doing this shit, you could fire me, you're a part of that problem. You're stupid. Oh, well. Like, everybody in that room who agreed, yeah, let's push it back. It's a great idea. Because the fact remains, we're going to get into the albums, a few that dropped last week, some that dropped a couple days ago.
It was a whole stack of shit.
Yeah. This upcoming week was wide open as far as we're concerned. Until, something happens on Thursday. Yeah. So she literally dropped out from a clear cut
to number one.
Yeah. And she goes back a week to the same week where Ariana Grande's dropping. And like I've been saying, until you show me somebody that's going to go up against her, she's going to go number one. Well, now she's the one that showed me who she's going to go up against, and Ariana Grande is going to be number one. I'm calling
People are comparing it to Kanye versus 50 Cent for, Kanye versus 50 Cent for opening week. No. Like the pop version of it. Because I just don't, because you were making the correlation, you're going like, why did she have to wait back? You would have been on YG's album this week, and then your album would have dropped, and then the next week you would have been on Ariana Grande. So 3 weeks in a row, you would have been on.
You'd have been a topic.
A topic of discussion.
Yeah.
But.
Now, I mean, she's still a topic, but now it's for the run again. Yeah. So this album's been pushed back twice, and it's called Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if many queens that, push their shit back for other people.
And announce that a song needs to be cleared. Like, she's not acting like a queen. She's acting like a peasant.
Oh, yeah. I don't know many queens who can't get that stuff cleared from the jump.
Oh, when I was in the club, just to let y'all know, they didn't play one Nicki record. So, that's a doo-doo-ch. Well, they kind of did, but not really. It was a whole lot of Cardi they played.
Yeah.
But yeah, we put up a larger poll. And the question was, do you believe that Nicki Minaj really pushed the album back due to a sample clearance for one song or because the music is trash? And 56% of y'all said it's going to be trash.
Trash.
It's going to be trash. I already know it's going to be trash. I can't wait to talk about this next week or the week after.
Yeah, we still got a week.
Week after.
We're 2 weeks away.
Yeah, it got pushed back.
Yeah.
You gotta remember that.
Yeah. Keep forgetting. Because now it's like, what would I listen to?
The good thing of it is, well, there's two good things. Number one, that's going to be a hot topic for our 100th episode. And number two, we've actually been getting a lot of response back. Larissa will be back for that episode.
Oh yeah, she's a Nicki fan, so we're gonna be tag teaming, roasting her, just stomping her. Like,
I don't even think we're going to do that because
don't be a menace.
Because the conversations her and I have been having, she's fully on board to roast that shit too.
No, I know she is. That's what I'm saying. We're gonna tag team, stomping the shit out of that damn music.
Her.
All three of us ring around the rosy, stomping it.
Hey, Martin, you can jump in too.
Yep, and then you can do an elbow drop.
Give me a hell yeah!
I still feel that album's gonna be like 25 tracks. I really feel it's gonna be over 25.
That's what I said 24, 25 songs.
And I said 30.
That'll be ridiculous.
It'll be like 30.
That'll be ridiculous.
I'm not expecting any logic on this album.
It's gonna be nothing but bird talk. Nothing but bird talk. And then we got to do all on. I'm not even gonna rearrange it. Shit's trash. I'm already reviewing it. We all reviewing it already.
I mean, there's enough material. She's giving us 5 or 6 songs now.
It's a preview of our review. Anyway,
I mean, she's giving us 5 or 6 songs from as of now.
And they're saying, and there's rumor that Fifi's going to be on the album. So,
really,
because it's our highest charted song of all the stuff that came out.
That
features
in itself is trash, dude.
Yep.
Like, seriously.
I know. They said the only decent part about that song is 6ix9ine.
This your queen.
This your queen. Let's see. Speaking of this your queen, Cardi B. She made the announcement that she's going to drop out of the second half of the 24K Magic Tour with Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unfortunate, but at the same time, like, she's a mom now. She said she underestimated being a mom. And it's a smart, I mean, in my opinion, it makes sense. I said she needs to chill.
Yeah, for sure. She went and consulted with doctors. Doctors obviously told her it's not healthy to have a baby out, fresh out the womb, on the road, on tour. It's definitely not a situation where you want
right? It was gonna be like 10 stops.
Oh no, it was gonna be more than that.
Really? Damn. Yeah, you need to chill.
It wasn't gonna be as big as the
other one, yeah.
Right? But they were gonna make some stops. Yeah, so she went back, and we thought she was just gonna fall back and chill, but apparently people started questioning her bank account pretty much when her and Offset, they went and bought the Lambos.
And I don't know, man. Like I'm always going on Nicki, but I gotta keep that same energy with Cardi, man. She needs to stay on social media because I don't think she can take fame because she's always has to prove herself, and she also responded to haters and shit like that. Yep. So she took a screenshot of her bank account to prove to the haters, and it was
she pulled out $500,000 to buy the Lambo.
That's tight.
I mean, it was like, why did you do that, Cardi? Come on, Cardi. But I keep remembering she's from Bronx, right?
From New York.
She's from New York. I mean, she's always just saying this is new to her. All this shit that she's going through right now, it is absolutely new to her. Honestly, I've said this before. She don't even have to drop another album. After this, she could just perform these songs with some features here and there, and that's it.
She says she's dropping new music soon. That was I don't want to say the catch-22, but that was how she explained her dropping off the tour with the fans. I'm dropping off, but I'm in the process of releasing some new music very soon.
She's probably going to release an EP. Cool. Probably like an EP.
That'd be a good way to close out the year.
Yeah, like a random 5-song EP or some shit.
For sure.
Why not?
Why not?
She was on IG. She posted a picture of her at the Kardashians. Yeah. And the caption read, "I finally made the rich people's club. I don't know how to act.
I'm not broke no more.
By the way, I'm going to take a napkin from Chris's house and I'm going to sell it on eBay."
Oh, wow.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I love Cardi, man. She needs, honestly, she needs her own show.
Oh,
she needs her own show, like a reality show. Not a reality show. Something. Because this rapping shit, she got all types of avenues that she can do. So she's a brand now.
She needs to do a show with Offset. Because they're actually a perfect balance for each other.
You're giving ideas out.
Ideas
sure that's out already.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're already worth that. Yeah,
because that would be entertaining as fuck.
Hell yeah, because Offset would be the perfect balance for her.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? She's loud, she's hyper, and all that. He's very
boring and chill.
I wouldn't even call him boring. He's just he stays very
silent.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you want to pop off on him and he gets up and unhooks his cufflinks. Oh man! Speaking of when we go back to the production, Aubrey is getting into the HBO business.
Hey, that's a good look.
Yeah,
that's actually a really good look.
Yeah, so pretty much he is executive producing an HBO adult high school drama-ish, kind of. It's called
TV show.
TV show. It's a TV show. High school TV show that's on HBO by A24 production, and Zendaya is gonna be the lead role. And it's called Euphoria. And Drake and Future the Prince are executive producing. So
I can respect that. I give a round of applause for that.
Yeah, Zendaya, not Drake.
No, for everybody involved with it. I mean, that's
that's
a good look.
I'm not gonna watch it.
Oh wow! I mean, Drake's not even on this show. You're not gonna show love to the Bay, man.
I know. That's kind of the only reason why I would, if anything.
Yeah, Zendaya is working on Spider-Man right now. She's working on Spider-Man right now, and she's gonna come back and start this show. Man,
I mean, if anything, it also explains why Jay Prince was telling Drake to shut the fuck up.
Pretty much, because you got bags coming.
Right.
You got bags coming, bro. You need to shut the fuck up.
Now, at the same time, I'm not excusing it.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
but
no, of course
it
not.
sheds more light to...
Yeah.
I can understand.
Yeah, I can understand.
I have a better visual of what was taking place behind the scenes now.
Yeah, because HBO would have said, "Oh, you getting caught up in too much shit. We can't do this no more." So,
right.
Yeah. Now, now you know what he's doing for the Bay. Now you know that's what Drake is doing for the Bay. He's putting the Oakland girl on an HBO show.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He's probably gonna fall in love with her.
Yep.
And turning a whole song dedicated to Kiki from the Bay.
And she's
the summer anthem.
And she's 21 too. That's his age. That's his age limits.
Yeah.
Now speaking of Kiki, they released the "In My Feelings" video that was shot in New Orleans and was directed by Karina Evans. And man,
hell of a resume she's starting off with.
I'll say this, man. All the visuals for Scorpion have been quality.
Yeah.
That's, pandering and all that. That's my personal view. It's all the videos are pandering to me.
Like I said,
it's fake as fuck.
Even with the I'm Upset video, I said the Degrassi fan, I appreciated it. It was just everything surrounding it was why I wasn't gonna ignore it. Mm-hmm. But visually, she's been awesome.
Oh yeah. Lala was Kiki. There was hella like random cameos. Shiggy was in the video.
Shouts out to Mama Felicia Reed.
Yep, her too.
Man, she's still out there making moves.
Big Fita was in there. He had City Girls in the video. Mm-hmm. And he had a grill in there, and it was just, it was typical Drake.
It was cool, but one thing I did notice that I was not expecting, I knew he had tramp stamps.
I told you about that.
I didn't know he got that many more.
Oh yeah,
when he showed up in the jersey, I was like, "Oh, you look like an NBA 2K creative character."
He just has tattoos. Drake just has random tattoos on himself for no fucking reason. It's like you have tattoos, Martina has tattoos, but your tattoos, they all connect. They all have a meaning to it. Right. Drake just has boop, 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 tattoos all over his body.
It's like every time he leaves his country, he gets a stamp on the passport and he gets a stamp on his body.
Pretty much. I just will never forget. I remember in that XXL issue, he showed his back, and on one side of his back of his tattoo, it's a picture of Aaliyah's face, which is
so random,
weird, and then the other half is his parents.
Right.
And I was like, even if Aaliyah was alive, that's fucking weird.
A lot of people don't even know that Aaliyah tattoo is why DMX had beef with him initially.
That's weird. That's fucking weird.
Yeah. Ugh. But in my feelings, it wasn't weird. I mean, a lot of people hit me up like, "Oh, you're gonna hate," and I was like, "No, I actually like the video."
After what you said about that album, man,
everybody's on edge with me. I'm I like the video.
I can see that. You know what I mean? Everybody thinking that.
Right. Nah. The video was cool for what it was. He gave props to Shiggy.
Yeah.
Gave him a bag, and he made him a key component in the video.
He was like all over the fucking video.
He showcased New Orleans, so that was a good look.
Oh yeah, he also dropped another one before that. He dropped a Non-Stop video.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one.
It was in black and white. So it was Kieran
I'm not fond of that song, so
you put it on your little fucking your playlist.
Yeah, because I wasn't looking at it from a fan's perspective. I was listening to it as an engineer. Like, what works best?
I can't. I can't hear this. It's just that's why I put diplomatic immunity after Survival.
Let's clear that up. So yeah, I went back and I made a whole bunch of playlists for condensed albums called the No Hunted editions.
No Hunted.
Do a little air horn for that. Yeah, so I did Scorpion, and then I went back and I did Culture 2, and then I did Rolling Papers 2. But Scorpion is the only one where I didn't make that to go back and listen to it. I just made it and condensed it because that's what I figured needed to be done.
Did you like? Oh yeah, I did my own little playlist too. Air horn. Just it should be like one horn.
How about a womp?
Nah, but I just took out Non-Stop and replaced it with Diplomatic Immunity. That's what I did. Right after Survivor, Diplomatic Immunity, and then what's her name? Sandra's Rose, because I got all the soul samples collected together. Makes sense, but that song's still fucking trash. I'm not a light skin, but I'm still a dark nigga.
Yeah, I was like,
oh, fuck that.
Like I said, I didn't keep that song so I could be like, yeah, I'm gonna play it. I really only made that playlist because I was like, this is how I was gonna do it. I listened to it once after I created it, and I was like, it's at least listenable, but I ain't gonna listen to this shit anymore.
Like a 3, it would have went from a 1 to a 2.
2.5, 3.
Yeah, that's being nice.
Yeah, being around there.
Speaking of albums, there's like a debate that was going on social media. I've had this conversation with a few of my friends. Some of these people listen to albums on shuffle. Yeah. Like when they first get the album, they literally press shuffle and they listen to the whole album. That don't make sense.
What kind of shit is that?
I don't know how people can do that shit. I don't know how people could do that.
Yeah, because they're devil worshippers.
Whoa.
Damn. That escalated quickly.
I mean, you think about it. I mean, you want everything out of order. That's anarchy. Am I wrong?
I mean, that
type of motherfuckers that eat honey smacks in the morning. Little boozy looking ass
you
niggas,
just took
man.
it to a whole other level. Like, whoa. Like I was talking to somebody on Twitter and I saw it and he was just said, what did he say? He's like, I haven't listened to an album in order in years. And I was like, so did you listen to Pimp a Butterfly?
I was saying that motherfucker must hate listening to Kendrick.
And then he was like, well, I didn't really care about the Pimp a Butterfly. And then the other part of his little tweet was he was saying, what did he say? That he said that lyrics are overrated. Everyone just wants to listen to the beat and shit like that.
For sure.
So then when he said that, I was like, oh, so of course he said, I didn't care about the Pimp a Butterfly. I didn't really care for it, but damn, I love. I'm like, yeah, because damn is easy to
to digest.
And you can press that shit on shuffle if you But to Pimp a Butterfly, everything is connected, and there's something called substance, and you have to really listen to it.
And
so of course, and sequencing. Like, come on, nigga, I don't get that. That's weird. You know how hard some of these artists work on these albums? It's like a movie. Like, you don't go and watch Empire Strikes Back and the first scene you see is I am your father.
Right.
You just watch the twist and then it ends.
I am your father. That's me with my arm broken off. You're probably wondering how I got here. Well, let's take a stroll down memory lane.
To the next scene where it just shows, Han get frozen in carbonite.
And then the scene after that, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
But that's an episode, it's just all over the place. And then you're going to say the movie's trash. Well, no shit, it's trash. It doesn't have no bangers on it, though, man. It's just, I can't. Some albums, I can tell when...
That devil worshiper analogy don't sound too far-fetched now after you explained it, huh?
It makes a lot of sense, bro. Damn it.
I mean, some artists and rappers, when they put their albums on there, you could tell it's meant for just the playlist. There's no rhyme or reason.
Yeah.
You can just press shuffle, wouldn't make any difference. Some of them.
The Wiz album,
That was definitely one.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing, even with that, you'd have to... There's certain songs that they sequenced into each other. Mm-hmm. I couldn't make that playlist without taking that into effect because there were 2 or 3 sets where I was like, I can't do this without
separate them.
I can't separate them. Now I have to figure out how to make them go into each other.
Yeah, just fucking weird.
There was more social media hot takes though.
Yeah, so apparently, fucking perv Twitter.
Martin, did you catch this?
Yes, I did.
I was pissed off. We actually took a week off just for this one topic. I was like, damn, I want to talk about this live.
So apparently, Tiana Trump. Not whole ass nigga in office, but a real hoe. Tiana Trump.
Damn.
And Brittany Renner. Who is Brittany Renner? Is she a porn star?
She's just an IG model who became a personality. Wrote a book or is writing a book
about what?
I don't know, man.
I don't want to be an IG model having a big ass. I don't know.
Yeah, and then
there's a market for that.
The biggest thing about her is the booty.
Was she in videos?
No.
So she just has a pretty face and no brain.
Okay,
she literally came up on IG, bro.
Yeah, to give her credit, she kind of also is technically on the fitness side.
Oh, so yeah, that too. I forgot.
That kind of plays a role, but...
That totally slipped my mind. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Ass.
Yep.
Anyway.
Cash.
Money, class, money, cash, ho, what? Anyway, so they were teasing that they have something coming, and Perv Twitter was just, getting their meat ready. Pause.
Thinking it's a porn. And I forgot who tweeted it out, but the cat was just like, whoever's fucking her, you better wreck her.
Oh, yeah, you better wreck it. And it was like, what? You better wreck her. Everyone was like...
What kind of shit is that?
It was like, whoa. Taking it serious. Them niggas that leave comments on Pornhub and shit.
Hey, once again, shout out to Big Business. Big Business actually had a pretty big week. So he was on... was he on Beach Radio?
Beach One Radio, yeah.
So with
there was the Vince Staples show.
Yeah, so he had the Strip Club Friends?
Strip Club Friends, Anthem.
Yeah, they had their Anthem playlist, so shouts out to him. But it was mainly on his timeline where I was seeing all the responses come from, and I had an enjoyous hour and a half reading that timeline and just going through, because I had no idea. All I saw was Wreck It was trending, or Wreck Her.
Wreck Her was trending?
It was trending, and I was like, what the hell are they talking about? Because there was no substance. Then I went back all the way down because he retweeted Tiana and Brittany. And then I was like, oh. And then as I'm reading all these tweets,
niggas was really anticipating this porn, but then it just turns out they're releasing a book. And niggas were mad. And I'm like,
I said that shit. I was like, watch them release an album or something like that. Like,
I was just...
That wouldn't be far-fetched.
Exactly.
Like, at all.
You know me, I just scroll. I laugh, but I keep scrolling. And they kept talking and kept scrolling and kept scrolling. I just like... Like, Jermaine, whew. Just that's me on my timeline, like, oh my God. Whew.
It was funny.
Yeah,
it was funny. Social media has been a funny place the last 2 weeks.
Oh, man.
Because, we thought we were done with those, but then 2 more stories hit over this week.
I still beat.
The I Still Beat movement, man, is finally going mainstream.
I never really. I thought that was like the most common response for dudes. Like when women always just get up, like, yeah, that's why you have a small dick anyway. Still beat though.
Still it.
So at the end of the day, that's all that happened. Like I still won at the end of the day. You still took it.
I mean, have you guys ever had to break the glass and use it?
Yep.
Nope.
Long time ago.
Yeah, I've had to use it twice.
Damn. What's your story? And I'll tell you mine.
Long story short, first one, I was like, we were cool. It wasn't like we, it was a friends benefits deal. I never said anything bad against her, but she didn't know that in her circle there was a mutual friend with me. So they were like chilling at the mall, and somehow my name came up, and she was acting all brand new, like, oh, I wouldn't mess with him, whatever, this is that. And
really,
a mutual friend knew what was going on just because she was reading my phone, what was happening. So she hit me like, hey, you may need to make a stop at the mall real quick. Just so happens I was pulling in to do some
like you saw some Kool-Aid shit. Right? Oh yeah.
So as I'm walking
big
through,
dick nigga just walking in. Oh yeah.
If it was 2018, you see me walking in slow motion. God's plan. God's plan. And I just happened to walk by and I was like, yeah, what I'm saying? Just catching up with everybody, and then I just hit her with, had a good time the other night, last night too, and all her friends. But I didn't say what would happen. The catch was that all her friends knew that she left the club that night to go meet with a guy. So that's how I didn't say anything.
But you didn't say that's your version of I Still Beat.
Yeah. I didn't have to physically say I still beat, but I had to let it be known, like, yeah, don't play me like that. Don't do that. And then another time, I actually had to use the phrase, but that was a whole different long story. And I'm not going to dive into
You had to set it straight. You
had
to set them. I don't want to say bitches. You had to set that woman straight.
Yeah,
I love women. My story, it was just some chick I used to mess with, and then she was, I don't know, we were going, like, back in Twitter's heyday when there was a Wild Wild West, and everyone was just saying wild shit.
Oh, anybody can get it back then.
Oh, yes. And
2009 to 2012.
Woo! Damn, those were the years.
That was the time.
That was the time to be alive on the timeline. Anyway, she was saying some shit. I just remember finding on Twitter, and then we got into an argument about some shit. Like, yeah, you have a small dick anyway. Still beat, though. She said some shit like that, trying to disprove. I'm like, dude, I don't want to get into it, but that's pretty much what I said. And it was like, fuck. And then I just went about my life.
Now I can understand.
Now you got kids.
Right. Yeah.
Not mine.
I can understand how the
daddy.
other demographic would get upset, because if Cats is just throwing it out there with no reason to throw it out there, like, it's got to be a last resort type thing. You can't just be walking around, you know what I'm saying? If it's an agreement between y'all to keep it on the low, and then you're just like, yeah, I'm hitting though.
No. It's like Shawn Michaels coming out and going, suck it. Suck it. When you're walking, going, suck it. Suck it. Suck it. Oh, suck it. That's what I still beat. Well,
no, because there's a lot of guys who use it wrongly. They don't use it in the proper context. So that's where the argument comes into play. Okay, a lot of women feel like they're being disrespected. My take on it is, no, I've never used it in the sense to be disrespectful. I've had to use it two times in a stance as a defense to be like, don't try to play me like that.
Yeah.
That's when you
still brought me home.
Yeah.
You still brought me home. We still were intimate. The end. We both got something out of it at the end of the day. You may not have liked it, but hey.
And of course, that led women to, going through a frenzy all over social media, and they were trying to find equations to combat it.
So I didn't argue.
It wasn't working.
I just didn't argue.
And then they thought they actually had something later on during the week.
Oh man, this story. Can I tell this story?
You can tell it, but I will give our own title, which we like to call "How Much a Dub Cost." Play off of Kendrick Lamar.
Wish you had the instrumental.
I know. I was looking for the right button to press. I was like, let's give an air horn real quick.
Air horn.
Or some guns. Anyway, so there was a screenshot that came up, and she's like, "What?" And it was a female. She said it wasn't her, but this text conversation popped up. And this chick asked, the screenshot in a nutshell, she asked this guy, yo, you think I can have a favor? And he's like, oh, what's up? You think I could borrow you think I could get $20 for my kids need to go on a field trip and I don't have it? You know, just spoil it. And the guy was like, well, I'm sorry, he's just not gonna do it. And it's not gonna go on a field trip. She's like, oh, you gonna do me like that? It's just $20. And he's all going like, only time I'm gonna give anybody money that I worked hard for is for my wife and my girlfriend or whatever. And then she started trying to make him feel all guilty and shit. And he was just explaining to her, why don't you call up, this is the kicker, this is what got me. It said, because I was thinking, okay, he's being a dickhead, until he said, yeah, why don't you have 3 kids by 2 different baby daddies. Why don't you go ask them? Don't ask me about that. Ain't no damn, it's the truth.
Well, I don't know. I'm saying, like,
and then I just thought, I don't see the problem in this. Why do women? And so I looked at it logically, not even as a man or a woman. It's logic. Why would you ask some dude that you were involved with? That's why we need a woman on here. I
have a woman's feedback,
but she has common sense. We need the other.
Yeah, I'm just saying. When you're finished, I'll relay what she was telling me over the weekend.
But it's like, to me, it's just like, dude, this is someone you're dating, you're involved with. We don't know the whole history, but I'm just thinking they just fucking. It's nothing serious. They're just fucking, and that's about it. I ain't gonna give you no damn fucking money. And I have another story about that, about how some women are. That kind of pertains, but go on.
Yeah, so Larissa and I were talking about it. Larissa's first thought was, damn, all the men, where the hell's her family? Like, she can't ask her family for $20? Mm-hmm. And I was like, and that stops that closes the whole argument right there. Stops the whole
argument. Why you gotta ask some dude that you're fucking for that?
But just for playing devil's advocate, let's just say you can't ask the family. Mm-hmm. Why the hell don't you just ask the child's father?
Fathers, yeah. So it was funny with just seeing certain women's reaction, and I remember I sent it to some of my homegirls just to see what their reaction was like. Please be good, please say the right answer. And the right answer was, they all said the same shit. Like, dude, that's fucking stupid. Why can't she just ask the father? It's like, why is she asking him? I'm like, that's why we friends. Others on Twitter were just going like, he's a dickhead, he's broke as fuck, blah blah blah. I'm like, how is he a dickhead? Like how? Because he's an asshole, because someone that you were involved with. I'm like, no, we just fucking, that's it. We're not taking you on a date. We may do dates here and there, but we ain't together. Don't you get that?
That goes back to those memes where it has the picture and it's got a girl with a fat ass at the register, and it's like her card declines and her grocery list is $300. What you gonna do? And I'm like, that ain't not my problem. Can I get your number? And I'll walk right the fuck away.
Like, it depends what happens after I pay.
Bruh. No.
See, that leads into a story that happened to me this past week. That leads into a story that happened to me this past week. I told JC this, but this is funny. So I go to this particular spot in my city all the damn time because it's a nice spot. And shout out to this spot.
That's a good spot.
The spot. All right,
the spot. That's what we're going to call it.
The spot.
The spot. And I remember one time.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Oh, shit.
So, I go to this particular spot all the time. And like, it was a few months ago. I'm dancing with this chick or whatever, and she asked me I remember I took my phone out just to check something, and I guess she was really into me, and she grabs my phone and puts her number in there. It's like, yeah, call me, blah, 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 text me. I'm like, oh, for sure. But then something was just telling me, like, I remember hitting her up, and then I kind of just kicked back, and I was like, something's not adding up. So, when you put somebody's number in your phone and on Facebook, it recommends, like it shows, oh, this is somebody you know. And I looked, I was like, oh, there she is. Let's look at her Facebook. I go on her Facebook. Man, she has a whole nigga that she's engaged with. Not only is she engaged, this nigga's in prison. And I just went like, man, you were hella filling up on me. We were being hella intimate and doing hella shit. Nah, I'm good off this. And I left it alone. I'm like, I ain't tripping about this. So then I remember, I think a month or two later, I go back over there, and there she is again. And she tries to come up to me, and I'm dancing with her. And she's like, oh, you're not going to buy me a drink? And she was trying to get me to buy her a drink. I remember I bought her one last time, and this time she wanted me to buy her a drink. And like, you going to put some money in your nigga's books?
Wait, you said that shit?
Yeah. The fuck?
Damn.
Why y'all giving me that look? Like, if you don't have no respect for him, and you trying to play me.
I was giving you a look.
No, but y'all shocked that I said it.
Whoa,
I was laughing when you said yes.
No, but he's shocked that I was saying it.
This shit's dope.
And she was like, well, what are you talking about?
You didn't catch my reaction right.
And she was like, oh, what are you talking about? You know what I'm talking about. And like, you gonna take me home or what? That's all I kept saying. Because I tried to play her, like, you gonna take me, you gonna buy me a drink? I was like, aren't you with a dude in jail? And she was like, she was kind of shocked that I knew. And she was dancing with me a little more, and I kind of brought her close, and some dude like, hey man, she's engaged. I was like, oh, I know. And I walked away. That was the second time. So then I was doing stuff. I was always going back to the spot every night, because this is my spot. So then the other night, I'm walking to this place, to the spot. I'm walking to the spot, and then I see that I walk past her, and I knew it was her, but I just kept. And I was kind of off the Henny, and I was kind of just, when I'm off the Henny, hell yeah. But when I'm off the Henny and I don't give a fuck about you, it's going to be a whole different Busby that you don't want to see. So she saw me, and she was all going like, oh, Busby. She was like, she don't know Busby. She was like, oh, you just going to ignore me like that? Yep. And so then, and she tries to come up on me again, and then she was all trying to twerk on me, and my dick was on limp, just... And she was like, pause. Hey, she's like, you're not gonna dance with me either? And I was like, I just didn't say anything to her. I'm like, I don't got time for this shit right now. Like, fuck out of here. So she kind of got the idea again and walked away and whatever. So then the night progressed. I had myself a good time. I went to my other spot, number 2. Call it Muchos. Downtown. Yeah.
That ain't really a spot. That's the grub.
That's the grub, man. Everyone always goes to La Vic, man. People need to go to Muchos, man. They have the best content.
Hey, man, that's the trifecta. You go to Muchos, you go to La Vic's, or you go to Iguanas.
Yeah.
Iguanas.
There's fire.
Iguanas fire.
There's no if, ands,
who's the orange sauce is better,
it.
La Vic's or
La Vic's, bro.
La Vic's.
But see, here's how they trick you. La Vic's orange sauce be so good that it gets your brain to temporarily forget that they meat is dry as fuck.
Yeah, I don't like their carne asada fries.
You're right.
I don't like their carne. I don't like their Iguanas and La Vic's. They have I feel Muchos has the best carne asada fries.
Oh, I was just about to say now. Yeah, so Iguanas has more the wetter burritos. La Vic's has the best sauce, but Muchos as a whole. That's where you go.
Yes.
For sure.
And there's that other spot that's kind of right down the street on First Street. That other Mexican spot. When we would go there, used to go there sometimes. Not La Vic's, but it's another Mexican spot. Their shit's pretty good too. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Anyway, that's besides the point. So the carne asada fries is the point I want to make. So... No, it's the part that I want to talk about the most. So I'm sitting there trying to get sober, drinking my water, and I seen the corner of my eye. This bitch again is here. So she's like, her friend's like, oh my God, that's him again. And I was just sitting there like, here she comes. And she came right up to me and she's like, what, you just gonna ignore me? And I'm like, don't you got a nigga in jail? And she was just trying to play it off until I showed her the fucking Facebook. She's like, oh, I just need to change the account. I need to change that. And she was like, I'm hella hungry. You think you buy me a burrito? Come on. Yeah, you gonna take me home? Like, I just kept testing it. Like, I was just gonna entertain it just to see what was gonna happen. I'm like, am I gonna take you home? You gonna take me home? And she was like, no. So she's like, just buy me a burrito. So I was gonna entertain her and bought her ass a burrito.
Right.
Just whatever. So she was like, oh, thank you. And I was like, mm-hmm. So then she was eating it, and then she realized it didn't have refried beans in there. I guess she asked for refried beans, but she only took like 3 bites, so it was already kind of half eaten already. So she went up to the dude. Mind you, I paid for this shit, not her. So you better eat that shit. You know how your mom always said, you better eat that food I cooked you. Yeah. So she goes up there and she's trying to tell the register dude, like, you think you could give me another burrito? I don't like refried beans. You think you put new ones in here? And they were like, well, you already took 3 bites, so, you know. Right. And it's already gone. And she's like, no. And she was like, you can't just do that. And then she's making a big old scene about it. I told her, you better eat that shit. And I was like, damn. I was probably going to give it to you tonight. Now you talking yourself out the dick yet again.
Sorry for the delay.
Yeah, sorry for the delay. Gotta be on the shit, JC. Anyway, so
I can't keep up. Like
I know.
You keep organized. That's the difference. That's why you don't have control over it. You keep dictating when it drops instead of just letting it flow organically.
Anyway, so I'm just annoyed at this point, and she's just going like, he's like, we come here all the time, all of us, including him. He comes here all the time. You can't just hook it up for us. And I'm like, well. And then the guy was like, hey, I'm sorry, man. And he's like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, hey, just to let y'all know, you make my Kanye soda fries all the time, and you make it just right. And everyone in line hella laughed. And she was like, oh, you was going to embarrass me like that? I even dapped up to the cashier. And she's like, oh, you just going to embarrass me like that? And I'm like, yep, you have a great night. And I dapped her up and left.
Give me a hell yeah!
Yeah, don't play me. So at the end of the day, $20.
Don't play me. Play PlayStation.
No, don't play me.
That's an actual lyric.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Ryder J. Clyde. I'm clean pimping.
no comment.
I'm just like,
Yeah, it's just when it comes to females, don't try to play us niggas, man, because you end up playing yourself. And that's it.
Yeah, that's a story.
I know. Just wanted to make a point. Fucking bitches, don't ever fucking play me. Speaking of trying to gamble with their fucking life when they play with me, not like that, but don't gamble with your emotions. Don't gamble with your emotions.
Everybody was getting on me about the Devil Worship.
I know. Like, damn,
I don't mean that came out hell wrong.
Like,
you're gambling with your feelings.
killing somebody.
Yeah.
No. I meant you're gambling with your feelings for gambling with mine.
This man over here like, I'll get you smoked through podcasts.
That's a nice little subway, Adam Silver.
That's a perfect way. Yeah, we're just gonna dive into sports right now.
Yeah, and
round of applause to Adam Silver, man. He's really putting his bid in for the greatest commissioner of all time.
Seriously though.
Seriously.
So of course we know with the gambling, everything pretty much going countryside now. We just waiting on when everything takes place. Adam Silver was like, I'm looking to try to get 1% to 2%, and we covered that. We covered that a few months ago. Yeah. And literally over the week, he secured a partnership between the NBA and WNBA with MGM, and now they have a direct partnership where proceeds from gambling, the wagers, those are going to get taken into account.
Hey, man. He didn't even ask for the whole piece. He's smart. He asked for a little crumb.
Yeah.
That's all he asked for.
Well, I mean, a crumb.
I know, but just...
That's not really a crumb. Like,
crumb in the long run, yeah.
Like a little piece that can grow into something bigger. So, hey, shout out to Adam Silver for that.
Right.
Kevin Durant needs to get off Twitter still.
No. I want to talk about this.
I don't know. I know you do, but it's just...
Well, first of all, he does need to get off Twitter.
He's like him and Cardi. They need to get off.
But
does he?
That's what I'm saying. But when you have situations like this occur, and this is funny. I was actually on his side when this whole thing was taking place.
That's a shocker.
Because, well, it's not a shocker. It's just common sense.
Yeah. So
he goes on Trailblazers shooting guard CJ McCollum. He goes on his podcast. They're talking. And
he has a podcast?
Yeah. This was actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Martin, this is the first episode, right?
I don't know if it was the first one,
but it was like it's early.
It's early,
right?
It's early. It's definitely early.
So they're talking, they're eating, and so then CJ's like, "I gotta be up like for front." When you went to the team, like we was like, "What the hell, man? Like what you doing?" And Katie just laughs at him on his podcast, and I thought that was the funniest shit ever. I was like, he's really taking the heel mode.
They were really that mad at him,
right? Well, then it gets on even further because then it gets on to DeMarcus. Mm-hmm. He goes, when I found out DeMarcus joined, it was like, come on, man. And then he said that, and then Katie started laughing at him, right? Like, he's on his podcast eating his food, laughing at him as
for
this
being
is going
mad
on.
that
right.
I'm getting better in my life.
And
I'm living my best life.
He had one of the worst analogies I've ever had to process. It was when he goes, yeah, because when he went over there, it was like, no, when he was talking about KD, he was like, it was like, you and your brother get jumped by gang members, and then later on, your brother joins the gang and forgets about you and the brother. And I was like,
that don't make no fucking sense.
Yeah, and I was like, first of all, you weren't on the Thunder. Like, you're the Blades. Like, you weren't on the same team.
You guys ain't Kobe?
So, no, but what made it even more funny was when he did that, Katie just laughed. He goes, why are you mad though? And he's laughing at him, and so he goes, because we could have really won a title. And then at that point, Kevin Durant starts busting up laughing like, y'all wasn't gonna win no title, man. Come on now, stop that. He's like, I like what y'all got. Yeah, I like what y'all got in Dame and you. And he goes, but y'all not winning no title. And then I laughed so hard because I'm like, this man really went on this man's podcast and told him,
you ain't gonna win shit.
And I was like, I respect that. I enjoy that.
I mean, it's the truth.
But then the DeMarcus Cousins incident came into play because he was like, yeah, we on one aspect, I understood where CJ was coming from because it was, if you sign him for that low at what he was signed, because it was only what 5.3 mil?
Yeah, something like that.
In retrospect, yeah, you could have gotten him, especially because the Blazers center and DeMarcus share the same agent. But then KD was like, well, how you gonna make that work then? You got two centers on the team.
Yeah.
And so then he put CJ in a position. He goes, oh, so you wanted DeMarcus over Jokic? I think that's who. It's either Jokic or Nurkic. It's one of the two.
I always get them confused.
Right. But he's like, oh, so you would have wanted him. So then it put CJ in a position where he's like, no, I didn't say that. So it was one of those things where that takes place. So then the next day, a fan comes on Twitter and he goes, so is it okay to call KD a bitch? And so then CJ's like, no, I wouldn't go that far. So that's when he gave the gang member analogy. KD saw it and KD tweeted, ain't this some shit? I just went on your fucking podcast.
I just did your fucking podcast.
And did this. Man, you can't trust them. Snakes in the grass. And I don't know about you, but I just did your fucking podcast. It's probably one of the top 10 funniest things I will see this year.
I just did your fucking podcast.
That shit was funny.
I mean, he ain't lying, bro.
He's not lying. I was just on your shit. Now you talking shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat your ass when I play y'all niggas.
But, and that's the thing.
For CJ though, he was kind of talking shit. Like it wasn't necessarily like
jealousy.
that direct, but he was saying some things. You know what I mean? So
that's the thing. As CJ kept talking, I was just like, oh, Durant gonna average 45 this year against the Blazers. Easy.
Maybe 50 if he's being nice.
Like, yeah, he gonna average 45. Every game that comes up, he gonna tell Steph, Dre, and Clay, get the fuck out.
Wreck 'em.
Give me the ball. Yeah. Wreck 'em.
Like from Space Jam. Crush 'em. That's pretty much what they
Take the heart.
Open him up. Okay. Yes. Back to Vince. Do it. Do it. Do it.
So yeah, so that was one of the funnier things that took place.
So
one of the most prominent things that
God's
took
Plan
place.
starts playing. If we had the instrumental for God's Plan, we'll play it. Fuck
Right.
Drake.
But again, shouts out to
LeBron
the newly
James.
acquired Los Angeles Lakers small forward, LeBron James, for fulfilling something that he has wanted to do for a while. Started out with the LeBron James Foundation, where they would just do the biking over the summer, and it has now gradually progressed into a full-fledged school called the I Promise School, which will be in Akron, which is in Akron. I believe they just opened up last week.
Yep.
And amazing. Free tuition, free uniforms, a free bike and helmet.
Wow.
Free transportation within 2 miles.
Wow.
Breakfast, lunch, and snack provided.
Damn.
There's actually a food pantry for families. GEDs and job placement services for the parents of the students that go to the school. And guaranteed tuition to the University of Akron for every student who graduates from the school. And I believe this is I believe this is kindergarten to 12th grade, is it not?
I'm pretty sure it is.
So it's like a full ass school to high school. Wow, LeBron.
And it's one of those schools where they're actually going to be in the school longer calendar years and longer times throughout the day. So I believe it's from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. because now you provide a safe haven for these kids to be there.
That's a full work shift. Hell yeah, that's dope. That's hella fucking dope.
Oh yeah.
Good. Like, what can you say to that but applause?
Exactly. Like everybody, and it was funny. Everybody was looking at Laura Ingraham. Of course, she was the one that told him on, what was it, Fox News?
Yeah, stick to sports.
Yeah, just shut up and dribble.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
everybody was looking at her like, okay, well, he did his part. Where your school at?
And then, what's his name? Whole ass nigga in office goes on Twitter at midnight, which is past his bedtime.
I actually have the tweet because I posted it. So this was actually just before midnight.
He was in his bed
yesterday.
Yeah.
Saturday night. No, Friday. I'm sorry.
Well, whatever.
And he says, quote, LeBron James was just interviewed by the dumbest man on television, Don Lemon. He made LeBron look smart, which isn't easy to do. I like Mike. I was into that.
That really dead ass sounds like him too. That dead ass sounds like him. I like Mike.
I like Mike.
I always, it was in, I like Mike. But I like Mike. Man, fuck you. I mean, I thought that was a fake tweet until I looked at it. I was like, this is a real tweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what? I'm not surprised.
And of course, that was the outpour,
no.
which was the funny joke going around was, damn, these troll accounts are really starting to look like the official thing now.
Dude, LeBron called him a bum and he didn't say nothing to him. That's probably, he probably didn't add him.
Right.
Probably Fox News didn't report on it.
No,
'Cause
I
that's
didn't.
all
I
he
didn't.
watches.
Yeah, I didn't see the interview with Don Lemon. I did see his interview with Rachel Nichols.
Rachel Nichols.
Which was actually his first appearance since signing the deal, and of course since the school came out. So he's answering questions about that. She also brought up, him dabbling with the politics, and he said,
Fuck him.
No. It was basically, I have a platform. I'm not just going to shut up and dribble. I have a right as a citizen in this country to speak my mind and to give voices to not just kids but grown folks who look at me as a guide and a leader. And I have every right to do that.
Yeah.
And of course, now later on, I'll get to watch the LeBron Don Lennon one to see what caught whole ass motherfuckers.
Because I know
attention.
they probably showed it. They probably showed it on Fox News. That's probably he saw it.
I wouldn't even put it past that he got bored and he was actually watching CNN. I wouldn't put it past him.
True. Yeah. Well, who knows about that stupid motherfucker? But it was surprising to me.
It wasn't surprising. It just like it wasn't surprising that the whole NBA came and showed support for the best player in the game right now.
I just find it funny. Eminem sent Donald Trump like a 45 bar attack, and he hasn't even sent him 45 characters of a tweet.
Yeah.
Well, because he's racist.
Well, the funny thing was that
ass.
his wife actually defended him after this statement came out. Not him, but defended LeBron.
Well, really?
Yeah.
She
I didn't
came
even
out
hear about that one.
pretty much for not verbatim, but basically saying,
I support the school.
support him for the school. We all should be taking, his leadership and following suit. Anything that involves kids, I fully support.
When Melania's held
literally
hostage.
came out not even 12 hours after he tweeted that out.
Damn.
I mean, like I said, I'm not surprised anything that little stupid motherfucker says. So
I mean, I saw his tweet, and the first thing I thought was, oh, he caught her looking at black porn and got pissed off.
she just had to take it just to a whole other, first devil worshippers for niggas who listen to shit on shuffle.
Hey, we've been gone for a week, man.
Like, yeah, he was just watching ebony porn. Like, what? Okay.
I think this is bad. Wait till we start talking about the NFL.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, shit. Anyway, so Derrick Rose.
But yeah, so
God's plan keeps playing.
yeah,
Just imagine it, people.
we're actually gonna stay on Chicago real quick. Before we get into him, we want to shout out who we recognize as President Obama, because
Yes.
today is his birthday.
Yesterday was.
I thought it was today.
It was yesterday.
Well, we're gonna give him the whole weekend. How about that? Yesterday, today, and shit. Fuck it, tomorrow too. Why not? It's Obama weekend.
Oh, shit, we do that anyways for ourselves, so,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how old he is, but he's full of
Happy
blackness.
birthday to President Barack Obama.
44 and a half. But he's 44 and a half.
44 and 44 and a half.
44 and a half president. He's still my president.
And at this point, he's 44 and 3/4.
Shit.
But yeah, shouts out to Derrick Rose,
Living
a
his best life.
fellow Chicago citizen.
Obama, not Derrick Rose.
but fellow Chicagoan. He's going ahead and he's going to launch Rose Scholars, which is a scholarship program that's going to award over $400,000 in tuition money. Definitely want to give a applause.
Damn,
to that.
just giving back.
yeah, man.
And what was crazy to me was that people on Twitter were actually like, "Oh, he's just copying LeBron," and I'm like,
Who gives a shit? Like, really?
You know how people are on Twitter. They're idiots.
like if that's the case, make it the LeBron challenge. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Make it the God's plan. It's LeBron's plan.
Yeah, LeBron's playing.
LeBron's plan. LeBron James. LeBron James.
And then in addition to that, he's also going to be joining Aubrey and having a new series for HBO. He has that barbershop series.
So what's this concept? They're all just sitting there shooting the shit?
Just shooting
Pretty
the
much
shit.
the Joe Budden podcast just on HBO.
Just shooting
I
the
mean,
shit.
It's a trip to the barbershop.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
everyone has conversations. Like,
Yeah.
you know how much conversations people have in barbershops?
Yeah.
Best conversations in the world.
The episode that was getting brought up I won't say in the question, but was getting a lot of buzz about was, I don't know if it was the first episode, but it had Draymond
That was the ESPN one, right?
No. This was a preview of what was going to take place, I believe.
Okay.
Draymond, Snoop, Candace Parker.
Ooh.
And then I forgot was it Jon Stewart?
Probably. Is he
The one
white
that used to
boy?
host
He had like
the...
a beard growing those.
Yeah, it's Jon Stewart.
Yeah, okay,
That's
Jon
Jon
Stewart. Well, Jon Stewart asked him the question, do you have any regrets, just being a father? And he said, I guess I actually do. I do have one regret. It's actually naming Bronny LeBron Jr. He said, because everywhere he's going to go, that name is attached to him, and he's going to have to live up to my name just off the simple fact that he's carrying that tradition on.
Right.
It raised a lot of debate back and forth because a lot of people were like, who cares? It's LeBron's son. He's going to have those trials anyways. I would want to have those problems. On the flip side, I could also understand where he was coming from too, which was you go into anywhere and you see LeBron Jr.
You're thinking
There's nobody else you're attaching him to other than LeBron.
Doesn't Jordan have a kid named Michael Jordan
no,
Jr.?
none of his kids have his name.
Okay, he's smart.
I believe one of them's name is Marcus, and
I don't know
the other one, I forgot what the other one is.
Speaking of Jordan, he did reply and gave support to LeBron too. A spokesperson.
Yeah, to me, I mean,
Hey, Jordan about his money.
I'll give him a golf clap for it, but to me, he could have said a lot more.
Yeah.
Like, it was a basic-ass, generic-ass statement, and that's why he's been getting criticized his entire
He does
career.
give money
He's done
to
that his whole
charity.
career.
He does give money, but he don't give a fuck about us. He ain't
He
black.
gives money to
he's
charity,
Jordan.
but he also hasn't spoken up about people getting shot over sneakers either.
Only just once.
Yeah,
there's
that.
That's when it became a trend. Anyway, but if we just go back to the game of basketball, Cleveland gonna be trash. But the players gonna get paid.
Yeah, so life after LeBron in Cleveland. So everybody was blaming Kevin Love for everything during that 4-year run. Now everybody is happy that Kevin Love is staying, and he's going to be the one that is the star player, which it's not far-fetched because we saw him do it in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference was he was in the West, so he was going against competition. We'll actually see how he looks.
If he gets injured, it's curtains.
Right. So he signed a 4-year, $120 million extension, which that's a lot of money, but when you consider how much he actually sacrificed to be a part of that team, he actually sacrificed $101 million.
Wow.
Because had he stayed in Minnesota or had he signed on to a different team as the head, he would have generated over $200 million by now. So that just goes to show.
They're just millionaires at the end of the day.
Right. But that goes to show, even still, in winning a title, being a part of what Cleveland did during that tenure.
I mean, he was one of the main components in that Game 7 game.
Right, for
he
sure.
played the best game of his life.
So that was taking place. Tristan Thompson apparently,
supposedly, allegedly,
he served Draymond with a 2-piece at the ESPYs after party that LeBron was throwing. Draymond firmly denies it. There's still no footage at the moment, so we can only go off of hearsay. But I will say, if the footage comes out and it shows it,
hey,
who knows?
you gotta give props where props is due. Cleveland ain't giving a damn though. Apparently they're not waiting for any footage. They just gonna give Tristan a parade in October for that.
What? They really are gonna give him a parade?
They're gonna throw a parade.
That's why he did trash, man. That's why that's why I'm happy LeBron left them niggas.
But I mean, they threw a parade for a winless team, so it's not far fetched.
Hey, they were red states.
I will say this though. I will always go on bat. I actually loved visiting the city of Cleveland. I
remember you told me you had
time.
fun out there.
I had a real good time in Cleveland. It was fun.
And it's funny. It's still trash. All their teams.
Yeah.
Including
the people are
Browns.
great, though. I like the people out there.
The only great thing that happened in Cleveland was LeBron, and then that's it. And
Well,
all
Jim Brown
the
when
great
they won
all the
many
greatest
moons ago.
people come from random ass cities. LeBron came from Ohio. Michael came from Gary, Indiana. Prince came from Minneapolis. Just random ass cities. Anyway, J.R. Smith.
Yeah, he's apparently being investigated by NYPD for allegedly stealing a fan's phone and then he threw it in a ditch somewhere or something
Probably
like that.
because they took a picture of him and he just did that.
Yeah. But that's basically life in Cleveland. Without LeBron.
That's why he left him.
until Hard Knocks comes back on and
It's gonna go to It's gonna go to the Browns.
Yeah, they showed.
Yeah, I saw like the preview and all the fans have hope for what?
Yeah.
To win one game?
But shout out to my boy TJ Carey, because he signed a deal. He's playing over there now. So shout out to TJ.
And Carlos Hyde if he's healthy.
I forgot he is over there now.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, Carlos Hyde over there.
They're gonna win more than one game. They're gonna be in the mix.
3 until
I'm not gonna say they're gonna go to the playoffs.
That division though is stacked.
Who's in their division?
Pittsburgh,
the Ravens,
just that alone, and then the Ravens,
and then Cincinnati.
It's they can.
it's not. Yeah, let me rephrase that. It's not stacked, but you got
you got
top
Marvin
teams.
Lewis.
You got the Steelers and you got the Ravens.
Yep.
But even the Ravens are like,
Well,
You never know. As I said, I'm not watching football this season
At all?
I work.
Oh yeah. I thought you were protesting.
I'm protesting. I work, and like I said on the last episode, I didn't even really break it down on the last episode. But if you actually think about it, I had the 4 years with the Raiders, but before that, I had 2 years with CCSF, and out of those, so that's 6 seasons right there, and then I had 5 off seasons in the midst of that. I went through 11. I went through 11 seasons worth of football.
But you know what's in your heart? You're still a Niner.
No, my heart's Lakers.
No. Beyond
in my
all
heart
that,
is Lakers.
Fuck that. No, well, Lakers, but football. But for football, you still a Niner. Knuckle.
I'll talk shit about them to you right now. I don't give a fuck.
Fuck you. Sound like Smokey and Greg. Fuck you. Fuck you. We still on basketball. So what's going on with the Spurs?
Yeah, Kawhi Leonard, he actually looks better in the light as a result of this finding. Danny Green, who of course went with Kawhi to Toronto in the trade, it got reported that the Spurs training division, they didn't catch that he had a groin injury all year.
Whoops.
And he was playing with a groin injury. So of course, all those people who were complaining about Kawhi just get out on the court and play. That's the reason why he got a second opinion, and he sat his ass on the bench. That just makes him look better in the light.
Yeah.
Spurs all over the place at this point. Like
After Tim Duncan retired at the right moment, as soon as he saw Kevin Durant went over there, he's like, I'm gone. I'm too old for this. No, when Kevin Durant went to the Warriors, that's when he retired. That was the year he retired. I remember that.
No, he was already retiring before that even took place, though.
But that's when he announced it.
Yeah.
Like that same office.
Yeah, but it had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Like,
I was just saying in general.
He was already on his last legs to begin with. Like,
I know, but it was
if you saw him play his last
and then as soon as he saw Kevin Durant, yep, I'm going. I'm going to the Warriors. I'm gone.
I'm too old for this shit.
He just looked at his rings, looked at his championships.
Yeah, because him, Kobe, and KG all retired the same year.
Yeah.
I'm going to that Hall of Fame.
That'd be tight.
I'm going to that Hall of Fame ceremony.
I am going. The way you got.
I am buying a ticket.
I am buying a child to buy a ticket. What? You gotta have serious. Hey man, you taking it to a whole other level. This whole episode talk about devil worshiping.
Man,
talk about ebony porn.
I missed recording last week. I missed you guys, man. Like
ebony.
It's my way of showing I missed you guys.
Ebony porn.
I had no filter last week.
And now you're talking about I will buy a ticket. It's like okay, I'm getting serious,
man. Chill.
And then to close out basketball, so thankfully before we actually went on air, we actually got this story clarified, so we have an update. But going into it, there was a report that Blake Griffin was going to be shelving out $3 million a year in child support, which was the equivalent, when you break it down, to $248,000 a month. $248,000 or $258,000 a month. And when I saw he was trending on Twitter, I was like, why the hell is he trending? Like, did he get traded again? And then I see it, I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, well, Bryn Cameron, who's she? And I clicked on her, and I saw her picture, and I'm going to be straight up. That was the last person I expected to be involved with.
You'd be surprised what these players
with
be fucking with, man.
And it's has nothing to do with how I find her attractive or anything. That wasn't... I'm just... In general, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was one of these IG models.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It was one of those. I was like, oh. I didn't know it was... Okay. Well, it makes sense. So then I dug into her background to figure out what she was about. And apparently this was actually his ex-fiance. It wasn't like they just had a kid together. They're actually together. She's actually a former USC baller. She has a kid with Matt Leinart.
What?
Because USC.
Makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
And her brother is former NFL tight end Jordan Cameron.
Oh, so
who played with the Browns and played with the Dolphins.
You know what that reminds me of? She was scouting these niggas. She's some get out shit.
Well connected.
She was scouting these niggas. And like, I want him. Damn, like that Ed Get Out. You remember when she was sitting there scrolling through? That's what she was doing. Damn, she got these niggas.
Yeah, so, but as I said, the report actually came out where she actually cleared the story. And she's like, no, he's not paying that much money. Here's the documents, and it's $32,000 a month. Now, even then, I'm still looking at like, what do you need with $32,000 a month for a child? But 32,000 compared to 248 or 58,000, I'm looking at that like, okay, yeah, all right, we can work with that a little bit better.
Yeah.
But of course, that led to another debate on social media. And
someone said, I gotta pay that much? And there's a picture of Chris Benoit.
Jesus, man.
I was like, I gotta pay that much? It was just, and then it was just a picture of Chris Benoit. Didn't say nothing much. Just a picture of Chris Benoit.
Y'all can't say anything about me the rest of this episode.
It was on Twitter. I didn't say it. I'm just a messenger.
Y'all
I can't say
don't
nothing.
say anything to me about anything the rest of this episode.
I can't say nothing. Just, you got to walk that line.
Yeah, but so I lost myself for a second. I was like, where the hell are we on this rundown?
Hey man, we've been gone for a week. We've coded this in. I gotta pay this much for her and that child. Picture of Chris Benoit.
Yeah, I mean that just goes to show just the legal system. Again, I'm for child support if it comes down to that. But some of these numbers is just like,
well, they go from how much they make.
Right, but even then, it's kind of like, what do you need with that much money to provide a child?
A vacation to go to Disneyland.
You know what I'm saying?
5 times a year.
Or more.
Maybe 10.
Yeah.
The whole month.
I mean, even 32,000 for a month. You know what 32,000 could do for a full year? Man, that pretty much covers.
That's college tuition shit.
Right, yeah.
But this shit go on.
But I mean, that's another story here. But we did run on a logic poll for that.
Oh yeah.
And shouts out to my boy Marquette, of course, who was Raiders punter. Now he's with the Broncos, because he brought up he tweeted and he goes, "Damn, that's the best birth control I've seen in a while." Which raised the question: is this the best form of birth control that you could find? And 88% said yes.
Yeah. This next topic, the MLB, see, you say the story, and I'm gonna like chime in about why. What's it called? Just talk.
All right. So you had the Braves players, Ozzy Albies, and then Ronald Acuna Jr. They were in the dugout,
cuddling.
Yeah, and so Ozzy was like cuddling, kind of like petting Ronald's head. So you're kind of looking at it like, wow, that's
pretty
all right.
gay.
But then story came out that Acuna's mom had actually died during the game.
Pause. Yeah. His mom didn't die.
Is that what
he came on he came on Instagram and said, "Yeah, my mom's doing just fine, man. We just good friends."
Okay, so we debunked that. So now
they just said they're good friends. I wouldn't do that to you.
I'm not petting none of y'all.
I ain't petting.
That is not happening, bro.
And then I remember looking at it, and then I remember looking at both of them, and I'm like,
I mean, were they winning the game? Were they losing the game?
I don't know.
Does it matter?
Well, I'm just saying, there was a team that got blown out by 22 runs last week.
It was early in the game,
so I'm kind of, if you just need some console on that, I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but
I'd be pissed, bro. Like, I ain't trying to. No,
let me hug you.
Away from me.
I mean, it's the same thing I said when it came with Drake and HBO. It doesn't mean I'm letting them off the hook, but I at least have better insight on what was taking place.
Yeah.
Did they say what was going on? Like, were they losing the game?
I remember looking at the score. It was it was early. It was like 4-2, maybe something like that. It was early, but he was petting them like his own girl. And at first when I saw it, it was like, oh, his mom died. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Right. I'm like, whatever. That makes sense.
I could let it slide.
Right. But
you know what I mean?
Then when it said they were just good friends, I was like, and my mom is doing just fine. Yeah.
Pause.
I had nothing against gay folks, but it was he just holding them and he was just like, I'm tired of hiding, baby. I know. Well,
are they from Latin? They got to be from Latin America.
I mean, they got to be based on the names.
See,
they were speaking in plain old English.
See, for me, that's kind of where you got to draw the line as well, just because there's different cultures, whole different grand scheme of things. And I mean, that was actually something I was going to bring up here, which was, again, you won't catch either three of us consoling each other like that, but there really is a stigma when it does come to men just off a simple embrace.
Yeah.
There's been times where I've hugged both of you guys without giving a dap first. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, just with our bonds. But somebody can see that and be like, oh, they're gay. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no. The Lakers just won the title. What are you talking about when we did that?
If y'all really embrace it.
That was a hug.
But even still.
You know what I mean?
No, if nobody sees the shirts, you know what I'm saying?
I feel
you know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
Yeah, I mean, for America, yes. but I don't think they were born and raised in America.
Yeah, nah.
It was Latin America, so it's different cultures, and that's why I tell people all the time. Get out your comfort zone and get some stamps on your passport so that way you can experience the world. You'll see a whole bunch of different stuff.
That's why
now, I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean you just go out there and be all willy-nilly, because if you got to get your Will Smith on and you got to smack somebody for trying to kiss you, then you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But when you leave your homeland, I say quote-unquote homeland because, there's some of us that this really wasn't supposed to be our homeland.
We were chilling.
Yeah. Chilling with gold and, all that.
Being in Wakanda.
Right.
If it exists.
And, dust. Right. So that's all I'm saying. Like,
I get what you were saying.
Yeah. Now that you cleared the story up, I at least know. But at the same time, it's like, okay, they're not from here, so.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna go. I was like, oh shit, let me stop JC before he really gets into it. Yeah, he's like, oh no, my mom's doing just fine, and that's just my good friend. Y'all just running with stories. And I was like, gay.
Shouts out to him. Shouts out to him for being comfortable. Shit.
Yeah,
hey.
And then I saw the picture of both of them, and my gaydar went off, and I was like, yeah, you look like some fruitcakes. So
that's not nice, man.
Huh?
That's not nice, man.
That was very mean.
Okay. That wasn't nice. I meant cupcakes.
That ain't nice either. Like, oh man. But see, that's what I wanted to get into, which is. Just because you're gay don't mean you're soft.
I know. I'm not going to call soft.
I know of a few gay people that I consider myself close with. We have good relationships. Right. They'll bomb on you. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like, don't get it twisted. Like it's this stereotype where all gay men are soft.
Yeah.
Right.
And they have a lot of feminine. You know what I'm saying? There's still some 50 Cent looking cats that'll bust you in your face. And then turn you around afterwards.
You know what I'm saying? Put him in the booty hole.
It's a wild episode,
Shout out to AJ, man. Hey, you started it off. You called music shufflers 666 worshippers and shit.
Welcome back. Maybe I should have saved the welcome back instrumental from the beginning of the year for this episode.
Well, we have a Slim Shady, instrumental. That's his demented ass mind.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That kind of works, man.
Right.
Hey, that's why he's my favorite rapper.
Right. But then we go over to the NCAA real quick. I don't know if you saw Urban Meyer is in some shit, and he's probably going up.
Yeah, I saw a little shit. What was he doing?
Long story short, he had his one of his coaches, Zach Smith, apparently allegedly was involved with domestic violence with his then wife at the time, but no charges were brought up, nothing with that. I think it was 2009 when they were still at Florida. 2009 or 2012, something. When he ended up at Ohio State, he brought him with him. The ex-wife, Courtney Smith, is now saying that Urban's wife knew about the situation, saw the pictures. She was going to have to report it back to Urban. Apparently, he didn't say anything. And so then when this reporter was... Because, they're getting back ready for football themselves.
Yeah.
The reporter brought it up. Urban took the stance of, why the fuck you asking me this shit? Like, that has nothing to do with it. And he made the reporter look bad. It's the last thing you want to do for a reporter. So the reporter went back and dug up the story, because at the time he was giving him a chance to just say.
Yeah, I can see that look. Like, oh, word.
Yeah, so he went back and dug up the story, found out that his wife knew about the situation. What makes it even more complex was his wife was actually an employee of Ohio State, which would have made her legally obligated to report it rather than just tell him. And now it's starting to funnel out that, yes, he actually knew of the situation, tried to keep it behind things or whatever. Now it's at a point where we're just kind of counting down at this point. Ohio State's going to have to let him go.
You're fired!
Yeah.
Damn,
of course, but of course they're not going to do it in that. They're not going to do it in that way. They're going to do it in the form of a buyout.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
But the reason why I'm interested in this story, because that's now 2 schools where he has some shit that follows him.
What was the other school?
Well, in Florida, at one point in time, his team consisted of Tim Tebow, Aaron Hernandez, Riley Cooper, and Percy Harvin.
Damn. And they all trash and in jail or dead. Damn.
Or a racist.
That's it.
You forgot one.
Yeah, and racist. Well, shit. God don't like ugly.
Again, that raises the question, like,
what's wrong with you, bro?
Yeah, now you got 2 teams where you've had to. I wouldn't say he left Florida on bad terms because that was health reasons.
Yeah.
But you got to remember that came attached with those 2 titles.
Right.
And of course the Cam Newton situation.
Damn.
I forgot about that.
Well, maybe he's a devil worshiper and listens to music on shuffle. That's probably why all that shit's happening to him.
Yeah, but something funny came up where they were saying
Just went to the next subject.
no, I wasn't going to the next subject. I'm keeping it on here.
Yeah.
Somebody brought up the fact, the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry. They were like, I wouldn't be surprised if Jim Harbaugh brought the story up and gave it to the reporter.
He seems at the time. He'll do it too.
And at first I was like, that's
That's
him. I can see that shit. Yeah,
That's him.
Yeah.
That's him. Showed up in a trench coat, like here, puts his
Like,
Michigan hat down.
You see a report next to some iron khakis in the damn reporter's room and shit.
Yeah, that sounds like horrible.
Yeah.
I missed that motherfucker, man.
But yeah, Urban Meyer's gonna be, we'll see how that all plays out.
Anyway, when we go to wrestling, it was a pretty tragic day. Past week.
Yeah.
It all happened in threes. Ain't no joke. But 3 wrestlers passed away. One was Brickhouse Brown. The other one cannot pronounce his name for the best of me, but it starts with a V. He was in the Golden Era with Hogan, well-known heel, Hall of Fame. But they were both old, but this one hit the Attitude Era kids pretty hard. Brian Christopher, a.k.a. Grandmaster Sexay.
Yeah, too cool.
Of Too Cool, was found dead in his cell because he got arrested on a DUI charge, and they found him, he hung himself, killed himself.
Man.
Yeah, man, that was fucked up. And Grandmaster Sexay was part of Too Cool. The most, man, when you watch it now, it's like they really got away with this shit. Shit worked.
Yeah.
They went from being like macho, corny ass models, and they just went from too much to too cool.
Literally in a span of like a week of Heat and Raw.
Yeah, and then they
And SmackDown, like in a week of all those, they just switched up and you're like, oh, these dudes are cool. They came out dancing and shit.
doing the Running Man, doing the Thriller dance, and Scotty Twatty doing the moonwalk, and then they just added Rikishi, and at one point they were the most over tag team.
Oh man, they were
over.
that was must see TV.
They were before New Day. It was Too Cool.
Yeah, you want to talk about bootios?
Yeah, with his whole ass in his face, the whole ass, and there was some days he just couldn't like defend it. Like Mom will come in and she'll see Rikishi put someone's ass in his face, and she's like, I can't defend that. So
Can you imagine being a writer on that during that process? Yeah, so we're gonna have Rikishi come in, and one of his finishing moves is he's just gonna turn around, he's gonna smack his ass cheeks twice, and he's just gonna sit on your face. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Rikishi's a Hall of Fame. He's alive, but smash his ass.
Just imagine the that's good. Yeah.
No, I mean Vince McMahon had the Kiss My Ass Club.
God.
He had the Kiss My Ass Club and pulled his pants down and had niggas really kiss his ass.
Yeah.
I can't defend that.
What I found interesting about the whole situation with Brian Christopher was that when Scotty Too Hotty came out and he gave his condolences, one thing that was very interesting was that he had said we weren't the closest of friends. We didn't travel together. We didn't room together.
Yeah.
But when we went out there,
He tore the house
it
down.
was lights on. Yeah, it was magic.
That's great, yeah, man. Behind the scenes is a whole different story. But when that camera comes on, they become a whole different person.
Man, those performance enhancing drugs, man, those are some shits like steroids, opiates, but all the things those guys are taking, like.
Yeah.
Well, they
It's
have
no
the
secret.
they have the awareness policy.
Right.
In the WWE
It's
now,
no
so.
secret that a lot of these stories, him, Chris Benoit, there's attachments to these PEDs.
Yeah.
Like, this is some heavy shit.
Yeah, man. Being a wrestler is hard, man.
Right.
But rest in peace to Brian Christopher and the
For sure.
rest of them.
Definitely. Rest in peace.
Speaking of Hall of Famers, the NFL Hall of Fame.
That took place last night out in Canton. I didn't give a shit
I
like
didn't give a
T.O.,
shit.
so I didn't pay attention to it. T.O. actually gave his speech, I believe, Friday. And we obviously supported his move, but I supported it even more for what he was saying. And actually brought some light for those who supported Cap but were against what T.O. was doing. Because T.O. was like, I'm not going because this is, in my instance, this is my protest because something's got to change with the voting process.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason, you can say it's about me, but I'm trying to change it for the next batch of people that are coming in that are qualified that get screwed over by these judges. And I'm like, I'm all for it. Definitely. I've been saying that for the longest. Don't try to be the morale police, but for one person, but then you completely ignore it for somebody else.
Pissed off a whole lot of people.
Perfect point
Yeah.
is Randy Moss. And Randy Moss, and let me preface this with Randy Moss 100% deserved to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
yes.
Definitely.
Without a question.
Definitely.
But when you compare the numbers, T.O. had more receptions.
Yep.
Right.
Had more yards.
Yep.
Only got beat out by Randy by like 5 touchdowns.
Yep.
And why is he getting in on the third run? Especially when you had Randy Moss, who was just as problematic in his career. And they both have Super Bowl games under their resume. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was the difference?
I think I know what it is. And it's this simple. It's T.O. hated the media, didn't respect them at all. Randy Moss jumped in the media.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And also T.O. pissed off every team he was on.
Right. Well, I wouldn't even 100% say that. Because
teammates loved him.
Not only did teammates love him,
coaches.
You gotta remember,
to rephrase that, the coaches.
Andy Reid loves him still to this day. So
he hates McNabb. He makes it very clear.
Right.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, there's players and there's coaches that he rubbed the wrong way, but it's not like it was just one-sided.
Yeah.
And Stephen A. Smith brought up a good point. If he was that bad, how the hell did he have a 15-year career?
Seriously.
Because they kept bringing him on board, so something must have been going right.
That really sucked when they didn't pick him up no more. When he left the Bengals and then no one picked him up, I was like,
it's 15 years, man. Like
he could have still went. Maybe one more year. Maybe with the Niners.
Man, that's a lot of mileage on your body. Like even when he's running these 40s now, it's like, okay, you can run a 40. Can you get back? You can't get back on the field and do what you're gonna do.
The 40 doesn't really translate to the game.
It's one of the worst drills ever.
It is. I mean, with T.O.,
it's cool to see how fast you are, whatever. You know what I mean?
Right, but when you're securely focused on that, when you know you're not running a straight line ever in the game,
exactly,
doesn't make any sense.
What was your favorite T.O.? Was it him with the Niners, with the Eagles, or the Cowboys?
Yeah, I rooted for the Niners at that point. I didn't give a fuck about a Cowboy. Hated him when he was with the Cowboys.
Well, how about the Eagles?
He had a good run.
Yeah,
I mean, it was cool. You know?
I was upset seeing it because it was like, damn, if he, they kind of made it work.
I was finding it funny how the problematic niggas.
He made his name as a Niner, though.
Yeah, I know.
That's kind of.
I know. I was just asking. I know. To me, yeah, but
the catch part too.
I just remember fucking I remember when he was becoming too problematic and he was leaving. I'm like, get rid of him.
I mean, yeah, the whole thing with Mariucci and so this is how I knew.
I wanted to keep T.O. personally.
Right. This is how I knew things were going south. I don't know if you remember the game in New Orleans. They weren't purposely throwing him the ball, but the 2 times he did catch it, they were bombs for touchdowns. Those was only 2 catches. They were like 71 and 78 yards for touchdowns.
Yep.
And in the post game, there was like, you could kind of tell there was a lot of friction going on. You were just like, this is going to come to an end pretty soon.
Yeah.
Well,
but they chose not to, the Hall of Fame again, they chose not to bring his name up. His presence was felt around, though. Kind of got that vibe. But like I said, I didn't watch it. I saw clips. So seeing that, of course, major applause and shouts out to Randy Moss.
Yes.
For using his platform to bring awareness to what was going on. On his tie, it was the names of slain victims at the result of being gunned down by police officers. So like he had Tamar Rice,
Mike
Sandra
Brown.
Bland, Mike Brown. That was great.
A long ass list that takes up a tie.
Right.
I mean, it's sad, but the fact that he showed that is awesome.
Right, and he said it there, which was to another member who we call Ray Coon.
Whole ass.
He was sitting next to him, and he said, I have a platform, and I just wanted to let them know that just because you're going through this unfortunate events that took place with your family members, you're not alone. We're here to support you. And Ray Coon just sat there, kind of just, didn't say anything, kept his head down, which you would have thought after a 33-minute speech, he still would have had a lot to say, especially bringing his own fucking microphone out and treating it like a damn preacher walking around the damn podium with a damn cloth, wiping the sweat off his face.
What the hell was he talking about?
Everything and anything he could have.
See, I like Ray Lewis. He is a motivational speaker. I give you that. But after he retired and when the whole Kaepernick situation, he really showed his real colors, and that pained me. Because he's one of my favorite players.
And then he showed us more colors. Yeah, then he showed more colors and he's like, I still kiss my kids in the mouth.
And they zoomed in on all the kids.
Like, grown ass kids. Like,
that's a whole lot of colors.
No, bro. Like, why, don't say that shit, bro. It ain't panned to all of them. Like, no, bro. Shut up.
Even his daughter was like,
dude. And then
that shit to yourself, bro.
He was in the side. I can't even look at his dance the same way. You know his little entrance that he does?
Yeah, so I didn't even realize, again, I don't care about preseason. But I didn't even realize they had the Hall of Fame game on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I thought, usually when I was still with the Raiders.
It'd be Sunday?
Yeah, because we would have family night the day of the Hall of Fame speech, and then Sundays would kind of be like our chill day. We would get to relax, and then we'd watch the game,
right.
And then we'd be back to business on Monday. So when they were like Thursday, I was at work, and I was like, oh, it's tonight? Whatever.
I didn't care. Honestly.
And, but before, the reason I bring that up was because before that, he was on the field, and before he went to go do his, I guess he was part of the coin toss. He did his little, what we now call the shuck and jive.
Called the sunken place dance.
Yeah, he did that. And then I forgot, he brought up, who was the lineman that was from the Ravens that got brought in, I think, last year or 2 years ago. They call him, like, one of the best tackles ever. But anyways, he brought him out, and they both did the dance on stage, or whatever.
Whatever. T.R. Tugs?
Ogden.
Yeah.
Jonathan Ogden.
Yeah, no, because
okay.
Suggs is on defense.
Oh, okay,
He's
my
linebacker.
bad. No.
Brian Urlacher went on stage looking everything but the Brian Urlacher we knew when
He got a hair now, man. He grew his hair out.
That's a trip, dude.
He living his
right.
best
I
life.
seen him, I was like, what?
He's living his best life.
I ain't going back and forth with you, niggas. Yeah.
That's him. That's Urlacher, man.
You guys been listening to the playlist, you know, that's a staple
Lil
of our
Duval.
summer so far. I've been saying that to a lot of people. Every time I feel like I'm gonna get an argument with somebody on Twitter or Facebook, I just post the video clip of that, like,
living my best life.
fuck out of here.
That's
I
Brian
think that's
Urlacher,
what I gotta
though. That's Urlacher.
do. He had a good speech though. I saw that he was giving a lot of props to his stepdad
Oh, good for him.
and saying that he played a big role.
How old is he now, Brian Urlacher? Like 40?
They're all got.
I know that, but like how old? It was random when he retired. I'm like, damn. And he still looked he could go too.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it wasn't really random. He lost a step.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
You kind of seen it coming.
And did he leave?
Like,
Did he retire with the Bears or he retired with somebody on the team?
No, he retired with
They
the
retired with the Bears.
That's what I felt. Yep.
Who I felt had the best speech of the night, though, and I made sure I went back and watched as much of his speech as possible, was Brian Dawkins. Brian Dawkins stole the show. Of course, over the week, there was a report that came out, an article saying that he had battled with depression during pretty much the earliest parts of his career, which at that point nobody had known.
Right.
Wasn't, at least publicly, nobody knew about that. You just see somebody of his stature who's known as one of the hardest hitters in the history of the NFL, not just of his
Overall
era.
playmaker too, though.
Playmaker,
He was
yeah,
on the Eagles, right?
yeah, their safety. Just to know that somebody, and again, it's not to say that it's impossible for somebody to go through that, but you know, you see somebody of that physical stature, that dominant week in and week out, they go through the same issues.
And he always looked like he was having fun.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like his entrance, he would roll around like a tumble, somersault, whatever.
Right.
Call himself Idiot Man.
Yeah.
Like, he was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But he said his rookie year, he struggled with it to the point where the next few years after, he was not only thinking of suicide, but he was thinking of ways to do it so that way his wife could get the life insurance policies.
Wow.
Like he was fully, he was fully plotting this out. And one thing I loved and respect about his speech was that this is my testimony, and I'm telling you this because I was able to get through it. So that lets you know you will get through this. Just go through the storm, and you will find out so much about yourself at the end.
wow.
And you will be a better person for it.
Yeah,
And
that's
it
a round of applause.
Really, yeah, definitely, really heartfelt. Definitely stole the show.
But you know who's really going through it?
Right.
You know who's really going through it? Rossi. Because this Cowboys are acting up.
Rossi going through it. Jason going through it. Devin going through it.
Yeah.
All the Cowboys fans is going through it.
They're
Them
at
damn
this,
Cowboys,
when
man.
shit hits the fan. Are you really a fan?
Them damn Cowboys, man. My God.
Yeah.
Yeah, so over the week, I don't know why Jerry Jones felt the need to get out in front of the media, but he felt the need to say, yeah, anybody.
It was his son that did it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Was it, so
His son, he didn't.
Jerry Jones is Stephen Jones.
Yeah.
Stephen Jones came out and basically said, hey, we ain't doing none of that shit. You ain't going to stay in the locker room. None of that. You going to stand for this flag. You don't, you're going to be fine. You want to suspend him, you're going to look at cutting you. Now, everybody was kind of hoping, well, let's see. Obviously, when you're dealing with lower tier players, that's going to be an easy cut. Let's see what happens when you have Dak Prescott and you have
Your starters.
Elliott.
Like
Let's see what takes place.
And they just said the opposite.
As soon as that got brought up into question, Dakota Prescott.
Dakota?
That's his middle name, Dakota. It's actually not even his first name. That's actually his middle name.
What's his first name?
Who knows?
I don't know.
Okay.
But I just wanted to put that out there because with a name like Dakota, that should kind of tell you where
I know
the
Dakota
direction he's
Fanning.
going into.
The actress.
Yeah. So Dakota Prescott came out and said, yeah, I have too much respect for the flag. That's not a position that you should be. People come to the games to be entertained, and when you bring politics into it, it's just not a good look.
You know, maybe
you rub
Tony
people the wrong
Romo
way and all that.
Maybe Tony Romo left at the right time.
He's living his best life.
Living his best life.
Calling plays all out for you niggas.
Calling out plays for all you niggas.
Yeah, but again, I wasn't surprised by it because he said something similar last year, and I was like, nah, okay.
And then,
Zeke came out, and well, this was the wild thing about it. Zeke just got accused by a white woman calling the police. You know what I'm saying? Not having any hardcore evidence. Text messages saying that she was going to use him to be involved with sex tapes and scandals to blackmail him.
Right.
And he's still here like, yeah, I support it. You know what I'm saying? This country's made me great. Anything and everything to say with that. And I'm just sitting there like,
niggas.
Y'all ain't got no clue.
Just
at all.
stupid.
Especially that mural that they made of Prescott looking
the mural,
of Get Out with tears in his eyes.
Yeah.
And Rossi was just
yeah, Rossi and Jason having a hard time.
What did Rossi tell you?
Well, it was Jason who told me. Jason was like, I don't give a fuck anything about this team this year. Just when you win, I acknowledge you. Anything else, I don't give a damn. Like, I don't care anymore. He's already going through it because he's a Mariners fan, and we've seen what the Mariners have been doing the past 2 months. Just like a big spiral downhill.
Like I said,
yeah,
this is the Busby curse. And this is like, you see, from The Color Purple when Whoopi just points at him. Well, I'm pointing at the Cowboys imaginary. As long as your owners side with the oppressor, everything that you guys do will be a failure. Cowboys, you bitch ass niggas. So that's happening to them niggas.
Yeah, they're going through that. And then Dez, of course, is still looking to get on a team.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
The Cowboys coaching staff, front office, whatever, they were still kind of sending shots his way. And on one hand, I get it. If you're in Dez's position, you want to defend yourself, but at the same time, you still don't have a team
at all. No one wants to pick him up.
Why are you going on Twitter now, like shooting shots back? Because now they're looking at you.
He's getting spooked. He's getting worried that now it's training camp time and no team picked him up.
Right. So
come to the Bay, bro. Just take a pay cut.
My money still is on Green Bay.
Ooh,
they would be the one team to
good fit.
Yeah,
that would be the perfect fit for him. Damn, Aaron Rodgers would be real scary.
They would be
That'd
the one
be
team.
Funny though too, because isn't that the team that he dropped the ball against?
Yeah, well, in the playoffs.
Dropped. Yeah,
no, that was a drop.
You know what I mean?
That was a drop.
He caught that damn ball.
Whatever.
Put your bias aside.
No. It is.
Put your bias aside, because if the Niners were in that situation, you wouldn't be saying all that. So put your bias aside.
No, that was a drop.
So Terrell Owens did that to go to the Super Bowl back in 2003. It was a drop.
Yeah, it was a drop too.
Okay,
but
sure.
They called it for us. So
okay, we'll see.
Living my best life.
But no, see, you talk shit like that. Richard Sherman has a grade 1 hamstring strain.
Yeah, well, what do you expect to say? Living my best life.
I mean, he had Achilles, right? He had Achilles.
Yeah.
So he's recovering from that.
Did I just get reported right now?
Just flashed on my phone just
your
now.
Your legs, they're never completely right away. You know what I mean? So
whatever.
Yeah.
So that's taking place with
it's just preseason.
Damn Cowboys.
He'll be better by then.
Now there's some dealings that got taken, or transactions, I should say. Todd Gurley went and signed a 4-year, $60 million extension with the Rams, so he's locked up. Stephon Diggs signed a 5-year, $80 million extension with the Vikings, so he's locked up. $40 million of that's going to be guaranteed, and that was actually pretty interesting because he has yet to put 1,000-yard season for the team, and I think he hasn't put anything higher than 70 or 80 receptions or something like that.
Whatever.
But they have a lot of faith in him.
Yeah,
I mean, when you
did what he did.
Yeah, when you have a walk-off touchdown, I mean, shit.
You give me the money.
Right. I mean, I'm not mad at it.
Lucky catch, give me the bag.
I'm definitely not mad at it. I just thought that was interesting that he hadn't had those type of breakout years, and they still went in and gave him an extension. So we'll see how that goes with his
Living his bad life.
I mean, you guys can see. I'll be seeing on highlights because there's still some holdouts going on. Of course, Raiders linebacker Khalil Mack. Reports have now come out that he has yet to even speak to John Gruden since he's been the coach.
Why?
Because a part of the holdout is you pretty much have like a kind of like a regular holdout where kind of like you've at least attended some
meetings,
some team activities, and then when it gets time to go to training camp, that's when you hold out.
But when my money ain't right.
But when you also have, which is called a severe holdout, which is when your agent's like, you ain't responded to nobody. We're closing up shop. We're not answering anything until management gets
check clears.
Right. So that's the report came out. He hasn't had any conversation with him.
That's going off to a nice start over in Oakland.
So we'll see how that plays out. And then, of course, Le'Veon Bell. Of course, we know the situation with Pittsburgh and him. He's currently on his holdout, and instead of working out, he was like, "Man, fuck, I'm going to Miami. I'm going to the strip club.
I might go to the Dolphins, maybe."
And he was out there smacking cheeks. And I can't say I'm mad at him. You don't want to pay me my money. I'm going to use the money that you was giving me, and you going to find me for, and I'm going to pay some stripper girl's son tuition fund.
Then you're going to end up on 30 for 30. Broke Part 2. Strip club edition.
Yeah. Well, the good thing with him is he's secured enough franchise player years where he's got his bag locked, but he's looking for that long-term security blanket. So those are the holdouts. And then finally, which is going to bridge the gap between sports when we get into our reviews, the whole situation
Madden.
with Madden bleeping out Kaepernick like he was a curse word in YG's big
They were being slick. They were trying to be really slick. They tried to be slick.
They did that shit last year too, with Sway Lee.
Yeah. They meant Nessa mentioned it. So they thought they could be slick again and try it.
Yeah, so of course Big Sean's verse on the song, quote, "You boys all cap, I'm more Colin Kaepernick." But on the game it was, "You boys all cap, I'm more," and then it just got blanked out.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, really? Oh, y'all trying to be cute.
Right.
Y'all being cute.
And then, of course, this is, again, the power of social media and the age we're in now. Somebody was just playing the game, heard it, and was like, wait a minute. He went and recorded it, put it on. Next thing you know, it blew up. Big Sean came out. Big Sean and YG both came out and were like,
That's bullshit.
They didn't talk to us about this. Like, we would have never had the song cleared if they were going to do anything like that.
They were being slick.
And EA Sports, of course, came out apologizing, saying that the people who were in charge of the soundtrack department thought that because Kaepernick wasn't in the game, they didn't have the rights to him, so they couldn't use his name. But of course, as Martine just brought up, they did the same shit last year, and they did have the rights to him because he was a free agent in the game.
He still is a free agent.
Right. But apparently he's not in this game. So, I don't know. But they said they're going to, quote unquote, fix the problem on the next update, which I guess the update runs tomorrow. And I'm just looking at it like, on one hand, we were talking about it yesterday between Busby and I, which was, I was saying, on one hand, it's fucked up either way, but I could at least kind of give him the benefit of the doubt, because when you actually get into the business behind the music and the stuff you have to clear, because you got to go through licensing, and if you don't have the rights, now you're going to look at getting sued, and you got to put out a whole new game. I get it. But as you stated, they did the shit last year.
Exactly.
Same thing Busby told me yesterday. So I was like, well, I didn't play Madden last year, so I didn't know. There's no way to defend it now. You look horrible.
Yeah.
No, they tried to be slick. That's what they tried to do.
So that pretty much sealed what I was thinking. Because remember, I was like, well, let's see what 2K versus NBA Live looks like. We're going to go through. At this point, I'm ready to go put my pre-order on 2K tomorrow. Because it's EA Sports.
Yeah.
Also, Madden's kind of boring now anyway. As soon as you adapt, like I said, they don't really change anything. If you figure out a team and you know how to play them, and you know how to play the game, and you adapt quickly, I'll beat your ass. Gets boring.
Pretty much. pretty fucking much.
On 2K, you actually have to have a strategy, and you got to know how to press buttons and all types of shit.
Right.
Madden, it's kind of the same way, but it's like, you can figure it out real quick.
Yeah.
So, and it gets boring, especially when you blow niggas out.
It definitely does, because you gotta figure out if you're gonna do 5-minute or 7-minute quarters.
Yeah,
all that shit, and then you find out motherfuckers is secretly playing on rookie mode while you on Hall of Fame mode, and
then they try to go for it on 4th and fucking 20 and not get it, and then fucking rage quit when you fucking be scoring. Man,
I'm telling you, that's why I just gotta fuck with basketball. 24-second shot clock, back and forth. Somebody gonna win.
Somebody
it's that simple.
Until they rage quit on your ass.
And that's when you get the shit talk.
I never forget beating someone's ass on Madden. They got hella mad and they hella rage quit when they were using the Patriots. Like they were trying to beat my ass. Because I was playing with the Timbertay Niners. And I beat his ass. Trash.
Whooped his ass.
Give me a hell yeah!
Mm-hmm. Anyway, that goes into music. Whole lot of music dropped.
Yeah, we we ran a poll and we asked everybody, are you mentally and physically prepared for the music that's dropping this weekend? And surprisingly, 67% said
yes! Bring it!
Bring it on! Bring it on! They're fucking Joe from Family Guy. Bring it on!
That was like the Hulk, in the movie. He's like, take it on! That's him.
Well, since we were on the topic of YG, we're going to stay there. And we're going to divulge and go into Stay Dangerous. And I'm just going to tell people this. The music sounded just how I expected it going off of the cover. Yeah. That motherfucking Unleash the Dragon ass cover.
Oh, Unleash the Cisco ass, Unleash the Dragon. That was a good album.
I saw that and I was like, there's no way in hell I'm using that as any profile. So I actually went to the nigga's IG, took a photo that he had already on there, cropped it, added another filter, put a parental advisory sticker on there, and that was my cover.
Wow.
I was not putting that
above and beyond.
I was not putting that shit on my phone at all.
I remember seeing that. I was like, oh, that's a kind of decent cover.
Yeah. And it was just him with a bandana wrapped around his arm, and he was tying his shoe, and he had the bling on. And I was like, that's a perfect example of Stay Dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. But he didn't go that route. Nope. And the music didn't go that route either.
It wasn't dangerous at all. It wasn't even a Michael Dangerous. It was very safe.
It was brash.
Well, you go into yours, and I'll say mine.
So DJ Mustard's back on this one. Obviously, he was missing off of Still Brazy, but you didn't really notice a drop off because there was still a key component who wasn't involved in this album, which was mixed by Ali. There's no involvement by him. Mustard produced
damn near all of it.
Yeah, aside from I think 3 or 4 tracks, and there's 15 altogether. So we'll say 10 to 11 tracks were Mustard produced, and that shit sounded Just Read Up Part 2. It literally sounded like his Tooted and Booted days.
No, that's even giving it too much credit.
No, it's not. That's
these beats.
If you have been following YG for his career, that's what it sounded like. It sounded like it went back to those days because if you listen to a lot of his productions, not Tooted and Booted, not Tooted and Booted itself, the Tooted and Booted days.
Oh, okay.
The days. There was a lot of shit Mustard was producing that sounded like it came off a damn xylophone. The little Fisher and Price damn toy.
That's what those shit sound like.
Yeah.
And going through this, I'm like, this shit just ain't hitting. It was to the point where we've been raving about Ty Dolla $ign and his features all year. This shit made Ty sound bad when on Power. That's how bad this album was. The handgun track with A$AP Rocky, just when you thought it was going to get into somewhat of a groove, it just ends. And it's like, all right. And then it goes into Sue Whoop, which of course we rocked with. Can't Get Into Canada was...
That was forgettable.
That was wild. That was all over the place. Too Cocky
was forgettable.
Slay with Quavo was... man.
Forgettable.
666.
Forgettable.
It was forgettable, but it was interesting. I will say that. The Mike Will's input actually made it where I was like, Not to be like, oh yeah, I'm replaying this over and over, but it at least was like, let me check that out one more time.
Too Brazy with Mozart was pretty decent. Pussy Money Fame was forgettable.
Definitely was.
Deeper to Rap was cool. And Bompton Finest was cool. Other than that, this album was fucking forgettable. I was really disappointed with that because I know he's better than this.
Lot better.
DJ Mustard disappointed me, and I know he's better than this. This whole album felt like a blood playlist. There's just random ass songs that he was recording with his homies and put it on SoundClick. It was disappointing. Like YG is so much. After hearing My Crazy Life and Still Brazy, it was just like besides Suwoo, Big Bang, Too Brazy, Deeper Than Rap, and Brompton Finest. I'm never revisiting this album again as a whole, ever. I remember I was saying that I was kind of worried about the album on the build up to it. Now it's just like the YG's a lot better than this.
I mean, the thing is, I really don't even care for Big Bang, but I know the significance of it.
Like if you made this,
I mean?
it was like a 7-track EP album. It could have been like 10 tracks. That probably would have been decent. But then I realized when you said mixed by Ali wasn't involved, I was like, oh, this makes sense. It makes sense now why they out, because this album had no direction.
Right.
Sounded like a Blood was recording this shit in his basement. The beats were just terrible. To me, it was just like, you are so much better than this, Mustard.
And then the thing was how he promoted it. He was like, this album was inspired by Hennessy and bad bitches.
Not Patron.
Patron and bad bitches.
Well, don't drink Patron.
I'm like, yeah, it definitely does sound like it. You don't sound focused on here.
At all.
Yeah.
At all. So My Crazy Life, he was extremely focused.
Oh, yeah.
Still Brazy, he was paranoid, and it was in my opinion, one of his best albums. This shit, like, nah.
And the thing of it was somebody, I forgot who I was talking to on Facebook, but he had never listened to, he just never was up on YG. So this was actually the first album from YG he listened to.
Damn.
And so I went and responded, and I was like, I'm embarrassed, man, because after listening to this, you got to go back. You got to listen to My Crazy Life.
Yes.
You got to listen to Still Brazy. And when I told him, I was like, in retrospect, now that I'm thinking about it, My Crazy Life and Still Brazy could be considered cousins to Good Kid, Mad City and To Pimp a Butterfly, which was Good Kid, Mad City was the side of Kendrick that was trying to get out. My Crazy Life was the side of his quote-unquote cousin that was in it. Mm-hmm. To Pimp a Butterfly was Kendrick realizing what was going on as a result of his fame, then leaving to get perspective. Still Brazy was YG realizing that his fame wasn't going to stop him from getting shot and him becoming paranoid and getting more in depth with what he was going through.
This shit ain't no damn.
This was,
It's darn. Not even darn. This is just...
This shit was
forgettable.
So Kendrick's was damn. This shit was fucking Ron Simmons. Damn.
Nah, that's even being nicer. You being nice. It's nothing. It's forgettable. I'm not even gonna put it on my top list. Probably most disappointing. This is not gonna be nowhere on nothing.
I said it. Scorpion's better than this.
Yeah.
To me, Scorpion's better than this.
Because Scorpion, even though it was all over the place, there was a sound that Drake was trying to look for. There was no sound. I mean, he was trying to experiment with flows too. Like, nigga, that ain't working. You need to have some of your niggas in there telling you, nah, bro, that ain't gonna help. Whatever, YG. Def Jam's happy. This shit flops.
Something. But we can at least say that despite how we felt about it, he also was on his give back hype. And he donated $150,000 to a startup company called Girl Code LA. And this is for young girls who are interested in computer science, business, and software engineering.
Should have kept that shit and kept working on the album.
Nah. If you're going to do something for the community, at least do that. I'll at least give you an applause for that.
Not from me.
You're not going to give him an applause for giving
bullshit. Give me some bullshit. Nah.
Come on, man.
Nah.
I mean, the music's
one thing, but he provided something for
I get it.
You can't. That's what I'm saying. Your bias gets a hold of you a lot.
It probably
Once
does.
you feel some type of way about something, somebody could fucking cure cancer.
Yep.
And you're like, I don't give a damn. And it's like,
Yeah.
all right. I mean,
Nah, I was fucking around. That's good for him. I just saw that picture of him taking a knee with Kaepernick after releasing that. I was just really disappointed in that album. Like, you are so much better than that.
I mean, I'll at least give you that. Where it was, I already felt bad about the album with the singles presented.
Yeah.
But in hearing it, you still feel disappointed just off of what he was doing the first two albums.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, in a way, I still kind of expected this. I just didn't expect it to be the point where it's like 2 or 3 songs tops.
How the hell did Nicki Minaj have the best verse on that fucking album?
Yeah.
Shit. And that's the trash ass verse, too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But it wasn't trash.
Straight up.
Travis Scott
He
This
came out
motherfucker.
man.
took the damn week by storm.
Yeah.
Basically.
Out of nowhere.
So there were rumors coming out last week that, well, I shouldn't say last week, the week before, that the album was going to be in, at least in the final mixing stages. Mm-hmm. Because Mike Dean had posted saying that, yeah, it's coming soon. Mm-hmm. And then I believe Monday or Tuesday, that's when the artwork came out. And
It was just like, what was it? it was just that big old float was just popping around in random cities and shit, like
and
pop-up shops.
Yeah, and then the cover artwork, both artworks came out because there's two, and then ASTROWORLD August 3rd. So everybody was like, all right, cool, because we'll get into swimming later. So we had already known YG was dropping, we had already known Mac Miller was dropping, but then we get this, and that's like, all right, cool. Now we got a full-fledged trifecta. Let's go. I was pissed off because. Of course, I work 5:30 in the morning, so I couldn't stay up and listen to it when everybody else was listening to it. I was joking because while I was in training, I went on Twitter during a break and I was like, when you sitting in training trying to pay attention, but you know that you could have ran through ASTROWORLD 3 times by now. And I just put a GIF of Dwight from The Office, and the camera's just zooming in on him. He's just staring, sitting, pissed off.
I mean, I remember I listened to the album late, and I think that was where I got messed up because I was kind of just irritated. I worked late, and I was sitting there trying to get into it, but I was just kind of just out of it. So, let me revisit it. And I revisited the next day. This shit fucking knocks.
I love this album.
Yeah.
I finally got to, so without diving into much of what I was doing at work, we had something planned, but something got screwed up to where we actually ended up having 2 hours of dead time before we had to go to lunch. So once I realized, okay, wait, we're 45 minutes in and we're just chilling. Man, bump this. I'm putting the album on. I put that shit on, and I could have sworn I almost got fired because the niggatry levels in my system got elevated all the way to the top. And I was just rocking with this album. I mean, just what was cool and was dope all throughout was just you did not know when this album was. The transitions, you had no idea when the hell it was.
It was switching. Like that with Birds in the
But
Trap.
even then, it was
and
more
Rodeo.
so. It was more so the transitions into the next song. There were like 2 or 3 transitions within one song.
Yeah,
a lot of these songs on just one track. So Stargazing, I thought when the breakdown went, I thought that was the start of Carousel. No, it was still
same damn song.
And I'm like, oh yes, 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 because of course we've seen him twice live, so I'm listening to it. Not only from the perspective of the album, I'm also listening to it. Okay, this is what's supposed to be, maybe gonna be sounding like live. Okay, yeah, I gotta get there. I gotta be there. Let's go.
Carousel,
of course, which features Frank Ocean.
And also another thing about this album, he didn't list none of the features.
Right, which he did. That's
something an artist needs to do.
Yeah, which he did last time when Birds in the Trap.
Birds in the Trap, yeah. You had to listen to it, and then when you hear it, I'm like, oh shit, you had this person on there?
Yeah, I did the same thing with Birds in the Trap. I didn't wait for it. I just went, I looked it up, and I added them.
Oh, I did it too. But
because my whole thing was, I tried doing it with Ye, and I kept getting pissed off because I thought it was one person, and it turned out to be who I thought was another person, and then the other official track list came out, and then it was somebody completely different, and I was like, I'm not guessing who the hell's on the song. Let me just look and see who's on it.
Yep.
But Frank Ocean, shit, he on here giving another quality verse, the same way he did A$AP Rocky. And then you get Sicko Mode for me
that was the highlight.
That was a wild run.
Especially how Drake comes out. Drake was like the perfect component for that. And Take Heat, or whatever his name is, produced this shit.
Yeah, the same one that did Nonstop.
Yeah, fuck that song. But this song,
when Drake came on, Academics damn near exploded. Just like the rest of the world.
Nutted in his pants when he heard Drake's voice. Never do that for another grown man.
Nah, man.
Ever.
He didn't even do it. He didn't even say anything.
He was like,
his voice just came on. And he's like,
seriously.
Yeah.
Like,
I could imagine if he said something dope. You know what I mean? Like a dope bar or something.
Yeah.
And then, but just his voice.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, even fucking Lil Liati came out and said, nigga, you gay.
But no, that song was, I loved everything about that song. From when Drake comes in, he in Sicko Mode, and all of a sudden it just stops.
Yeah, he
breaks down and it goes to the next, and not the next track, but the transition.
Especially his rap, like a light, like a light, like a light, like a light.
Yeah,
that was a nice little bop.
So then Travis goes into his next rendition. And you're thinking, okay, wait, Drake just did an intro. Then that beat stops, and they transition into another part. And then, like you said, like a light, like a light. It was like, man,
that was one of Drake's best verse.
Easily, if he put one of those on Scorpion, again, my issue with the album was that he spent it. What was that?
Not me.
Whoever denied it, supplied it. My issue with the album Scorpion was that essentially turned it into I'm going to be answering Pusha T this entire album instead of doing what he originally planned to do. Mm-hmm. So if he puts content like that on Scorpion for 2 or 3 tracks, I'm likely looking at it in a different light. You know what I mean? So there was that. And of course, again, everybody thinking, oh, you gonna hate that track. And I'm like, no, I actually like that. He did 2 things this week and actually was like, yeah, it's pretty good. I like that. All right.
I'm still trashing you, still a man, nigga.
Yeah, you still
hiding a child.
Still hiding a child. You still got problems man to man, but artistry wise, I can at least give you your props this week. I ain't got no issue with that. Right. And then the cool thing was floating in sicko mode was Sway Lee.
Oh, Sway Lee was on that?
He was kind of floating in the background if you actually hear the background vocals.
Wow.
So he floats on that, which then leads into R.I.P. Screw, which of course DJ Screw. And Sway Lee's, now he's a full-fledged feature on that one.
I gotta re-listen to that then. I did not hear him. And if he flowed right into R.I.P., that's...
Yeah.
Ooh.
That was smooth. And then we get to...
Stop Trying to Be God. That has vocals from Kid Cudi, James Blake, and Stevie Wonder and a harmonica. And that was another highlight. Like, stop trying to be God. Like, oh. Like, you know, Marlon?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Stop trying to play it. And then the harmonica comes and it's like, over that cliff.
Shake your body. I really want that to be the cover
now. So then, and that was a more mellow, you want to call it a mellow bop. That was one that kind of gets you in the groove, and then all of a sudden, No Bystanders came on.
I need to be
dear God
in the
Almighty.
arena when
you
that
want to
drops.
Bruh, I want to see Sicko Mode, No Bystanders, and I want to see Who What live. Those are the 3 I'm anticipating seeing live, because when we see that, it's just going to be pure madness and floating everywhere. Bruh.
And then fires, just madness.
Bruh, I'm talking about another one for that, and then at the end of it, we all die.
And that's the end of the show. And Travis just leaves to the next.
And then you're left like Busby after the first time we saw him walking out. Like, what the fuck just happened? Get your ass back on stage and finish this shit.
And he still has other hits like "Don't Open Up the Window," and then other tracks and like
man. Dog.
And if he man, I swear to God, if him and Kanye go on tour, you motherfucker, I'll call JC like, I know, fuck the club up, bitch. No, if him and Kanye go on tour on some Watch the Throne shit, JC gonna call me. Did you see? Yep, motherfucker. After talking all that shit.
That might be the money. But I did say, if that were to take place, I'm watching the first 10 shows before I even think about putting my money down. Otherwise, I'll just wait for Travis to come back solo, because that's usually what he does. What if these niggas are
doing some old Circus Soleil shit?
Oh my God.
I'm like, JC, you need to see 10 shows. Like, I know! Instead of like Tasha, I know! Fuck! You just pissed off. This is amazing. If Kanye doesn't talk, that will be man.
Yeah.
Then Skeletons. Yeah, Travis sounded like Kanye on that record.
So when you get to Skeletons, that's when the Weeknd's Time to Shine comes into play.
Kind of starts shining.
And then Pharrell was also featured on that track. And then we get to
Wake Up.
Another highlight, which was Wake Up.
That was a Weeknd song. I'm sorry, Weeknd.
Yeah, the same
renegaded
way.
That.
So when we were talking about Rodeo years ago, obviously we didn't have the show years ago, but when I discussed it, it was dope to hear Pray for the fuck was the song?
I got the song right here, actually. Where is it at? Oh, Pray for Love.
Thank you. Pray for Love, where it didn't sound like Weeknd outshined him. It sounded like a perfect balance. This one did sound like a Weeknd song, but even then, Trav still didn't sound out of place because the production was A1.
And Weeknd sang his ass off.
To me, it was kind of like a Division record, where Daniel's the singer, and 1985 they gel perfectly together. So at this point, I want to hear a Trav Weeknd EP where Trav is mainly doing the production.
And Weeknd, oh my God.
Yeah. I want to put that into the universe right damn now.
Michael's just,
Yeah. And then 21 Savage came out. He actually gave a dope verse on
he
NC-17.
missed 5% tint. That's my shit.
I like that one too. But I was bringing up 21 Savage because he actually ended his verse on a funny ass line. I couldn't help but laugh, and I was like, that was actually pretty dope.
What was the line?
When he's like, nutted on the face, now I call it baby face.
21.
But no, 5% tint was dope too.
Oh man.
Which was what sample was that again? Cell Therapy. Goody Mob.
Yeah, and then there was Astro Thunder. That was cool.
Man. John Mayer and
John Mayer was on that?
Produced it.
Oh.
They co-produced it.
My God.
John Mayer and Thundercat. That's why it's called Astro Thunder. Yeah. Yes.
Duh. And then Yosemite was Nev.
Yosemite was wild, man.
And then
I think they got Gunna, and he sounded like Young Thug at first. Like, well, not at first. He still sounds like him. But when I thought it was Young Thug until I went and looked at the track list, and I was like,
And then after that, that's when the album kind of starts slowing down a bit.
I agreed with you initially until I ran it back my third listen, and I was like, nah, it's still going now. Because Can't Say was really dope. I actually liked the Don Toliver feature on that one. And then Who What with Quavo and Takeoff. Mm-hmm. That knocks.
I bet.
Tremendously. And then it leads into Butterfly Effect. Which, of course, that's been booming all 2017, going into 2018.
Yeah.
And then it closes out with Houston Fornication, which
slows down.
Yeah, and then you close out with Coffee Bean. But, I mean, for me, at that point, it was just like...
It was like the come down.
Yeah.
You were coming down from like a crazy ass ride, and he was talking about Kylie on that, but
right.
All around, on first listen, it's still growing on me. That is a solid 4 out of 5. Solid.
I had Rodeo at a 4 out of 5. I gave Birds in the Trap a 3.5 out of 5. So this one is another solid 4.
And the way he's just like Kanye, he could bring the best out of the featured artist. Yeah. He literally brings the best out of them, and just production wise, he has such a great ear for production. Just knows what he wants, and just knows how to bring the madness and just.
Well, it's like he's mastered the art of sound at this point.
Yeah,
where it's because you don't listen. It's funny, like cats still try to listen to Travis for bars, and I'm like,
it's not giving you bars.
That's not. You don't listen to this.
He's giving you experience.
Granted, he has parts where he's still, I don't want to call him lyrical miracle, but he can still get in his bag when a few bars here and there. Mm-hmm. So that's not to be taken away, but his whole career is based off of, like you said, an experience with sound. Just sounds in general. And I'm going to mash all the shit that probably shouldn't be gelled together. Mm-hmm. Watch me work wonders, and you're going to get a kick out of it.
He's getting the best of good music, and T.I. still gets money off.
Yeah, because I mean, business wise, this is a Grand Hustle, Epic, and of course his own label now, Cactus Jack.
Mm-hmm. Bang bang.
But he's still under the good music umbrella.
Yeah. So and Drake worked with him,
which was fun. That was like my only funny thing I caught about the Drake feature was that he spent this whole time creating the narrative of putting Kanye and Push in this bad light, like they blindsided him with this information. But yet and still, you just dropped one of your best verses for somebody that's affiliated with both of them still. So it's like, is it one mic or Uchiwali? Like, are you against good music or are you not?
Right.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that simple. And then, of course, he's on the same album that has Kid Cudi, and Kid Cudi's the king of hums. Like, that's all he did on the album was hum. And I almost shed a tear.
No, you got a bit of explosion.
Oh, God. I almost shed a tear. It was the most beautiful hum ever. Like I said, then that harmonica comes in, and I'm just like, dude, why am I still breathing?
So now it makes sense why Stevie Wonder took that picture of Travis Scott in the studio. I remember, I was like, what the hell is Stevie Wonder gonna do with him? I gotta give it. I was skeptical about Travis Scott. I remember you're the one that made me go to this concert, and I was just like, all right, I'll go just for Bryson Tiller. Pause. And then then we miss Bryson Tiller, and then we go into the madness.
Oh my God.
Just anarchy. Just like
Martin has a different take than us when it comes to this album, so I feel like he's gonna have to accompany us to this concert.
Well, it goes along with the fact that I've never seen him live, and apparently that's how you gotta get into his music. Really.
My God.
It sounded like one hour long song to me.
I can understand why you say that.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I would have reacted until I started thinking about the show.
And I only listened to it one time, so it's like I just went through it that one time, and it's like.
See, I'm just gonna tell you,
It's the same shit.
when he,
You know what I mean?
did you go to the damn tour
Yeah.
in Oakland or San Jose?
Sounds like.
Was
You
it
didn't.
Trav or was it YG?
It was YG.
Okay, yeah, you missed it then.
Yeah, even in the arena, it was fucking crazy. I was just like, and he was on a fucking big ass bird just flying around with his mic, and I was just like, oh, nigga, you would kind of need to go on tour.
I'll say this about Trav, and this is for listeners out there who have not seen him live yet. Travis Scott is one of the best artists to go see because you do not go there to look cool.
Nope.
You do not go there to stunt.
Nope.
You do not go there for anything that's superficial. You go there and you get lost in the show. You're there in that moment. And
quick.
but what happens is that I will say this: 75% of that time you're there, you're lost in the moment. The other 25%, when you snap out, you're kind of looking around like, where the hell are the priests that so they can perform this exorcism right now? Like, this is too fucking, like, we are in hell right now.
Wow.
Like,
just took it.
tell me, am I lying? Because when we saw the rodeo show, you've been to the Warfield, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we obviously, like he said, we missed Bryson Tiller, so we were late. We go in there, and as soon as we're walking up to our seats, there are people jumping on the chairs. There are people swinging from the balcony.
It was madness.
Just all over, just people in the aisle running. Just
That's the only way to describe it.
And
crazy.
we're there.
Madness.
Like I said, when we first got there, we're like, what the fuck? But then the next song came on. Before we knew it, we had lost our minds too. Like, we were just so involved with the music.
In it.
Yeah.
And you didn't even get the general admission. You got the seats. You was like, I ain't gonna go on that shit.
Right.
You,
The mosh pit itself is
hell.
Yeah. You cannot go in that mosh pit when you're in a relationship. That's the best way to put it.
Wow.
You have to be single to get into that mosh pit. I've talked with people who have gone down and have been close up with their significant other, and they almost had to end it in a fight because the mosh pit is that
intense,
uproarious and intense to where their girls are getting, rambunctious and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you can't go there as a couple.
Right.
It's one of those shows. And even last year, on the Damn Tour, like when I took Sharice, that was her first time seeing Trav. She enjoyed the fuck out of it. Like, she was cool with Trav, she liked it.
Right.
But when she saw it, she was like, damn, that's a performer. That's a show. Because he came out with a big ass Phoenix, did half the show on the ground, then launched himself up, hooked him up to the Phoenix, and he's doing around finishing the show on top of that.
Awesome. Now, just imagine if it's Kanye and Travis.
Man. Like I said, sicko mode, no bystanders, and who and what. Those are the three where I'm just waiting for just pandemonium to take place.
And just think of everything else, all these other hit records.
I'm saying,
and features.
Yeah, after a while, you're just going to be in there just like...
Yeah, we getting too old for this.
Yeah.
He's gonna be 40 still doing this shit on his crane. Like I like.
Yeah, when the show info comes, we'll let you know. You got to come to the show with us.
Oh my god,
it is, and it's like he said. I agreed with Martine because there were certain moments on the first listen where I'm like, and the beat's not hitting. Wait a minute, that's because we don't have the right speakers. Okay, wait. wait. Oh, that's what I think it's gonna sound like. Oh, dear God Almighty.
Dear God Almighty. No bystanders. Like, fucking tear the club up, bitch. Tear the club up, bitch. Like Kane. Well, speaking of Kane, you know he's the mayor of Knoxville now.
Yeah, didn't he chokeslam one of his opponents or some shit?
No.
Yeah, he's the mayor in Tennessee. It's wild.
Wow.
Wild times.
Anyway, Mac Miller.
Props off to Mac Miller, man. Props off to Mac Miller. I mean, especially what he was going through, and to come out and deliver a project like this.
Hey, man, Ariana Grande, broke his heart, and he dropped a heartbreak album.
Yeah, and it was more. What was the name of the last album?
The Divine Intervention or some shit like that.
Yeah,
because he was in love. He was really.
And it had elements on that, but this one was a lot more groovy and more funk based. Kind Come Back to Earth was a great opener. It was very personal.
Yeah.
An intimate type song. And then all of a sudden it dives into Hurt Feelings, which is produced by J. Cole. It has a lot of bounce, a lot of movement. You're like, okay. And then you get to What's the Use, and it's like, oh shit, nigga. Like, put this on some vinyl. Like, what these little whippersnappers know about music like this shit? Like, what the fuck? What you doing, my nigga? And then Perfecto I like. Self-Care and Wings were kind of like those two songs where you could tell he was going through it and he was finding his way out. And then you get to Ladders, which again, that's another funk-based, heavy dance, get on the dance floor and groove record. Jet Fuel stood out again, which no surprise, DJ Dahi produced that one. What else is there? Overall, I really enjoyed this album.
See,
like,
for me,
I really enjoyed this project.
For me, I gotta listen to it again. I gotta let it sink. I only listened to it like twice. And it was just like, it was cool. I liked his last two projects. This one was pretty much up there about the same to me. And it was cool. It was cool for what it was. He did his thing. I gotta really, like I said, I gotta listen to it again because this is what I hate about all these fucking music drops. It's not just any type of music. These are just quality music was dropping. This is not music you could just digest in one listen and move to the next. Like, I gotta sit back and really listen to it. Like ASTROWORLD, I gotta really digest. And now this one is like a completely mood swift. You know what I mean?
Well, thanks, Nicki. You actually got a week where you can.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I could really. But this album, it was cool for what it was. It was. I gotta let it grow on me. Another thing that was really interesting to me see online is how they were so quick to put him above Eminem. There was a conversations on it that you told me why did I get into it, but no, sometimes I gotta teach these little young whippersnappers or who the fuck Marshall Mathers is. Like you be saying.
And now the listeners understand why we started this episode off with Eminem.
Hey. Nah, but they were saying shit that after those two projects that Mac Miller dropped, they felt dope, and this project, they felt he surpassed Eminem musically. And I was like, what? And there was like everything, his whole career, they feel that he surpassed them. And people, and it's like you could tell they had their bias against him. And it's like, dude, you just forget about his run from 2000 to 2006?
Are we talking about musically, or are we talking about
overall? They were saying
overall impact.
Overall, they were saying overall. The way they were talking, they were saying overall.
Musically, maybe after one or two more albums, because then you have to start factoring in all of M's later work.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something to have a discussion. Impactfully, nah.
Were trying.
There's no way on God's green earth.
They were trying. They were like, it's on Twitter. Twitter's the only place they like writing off Eminem. They begrudgingly have to talk about him. That's what I always know. They begrudgingly have to talk about him. But when it comes to his peers and all around hip hop, he's the most respected rapper in hip hop. But they were trying to say that Mac Miller was better than him, and I was like, what? And then they weren't trolling. They really meant this shit. And then when people started, talking common sense to them, they got quiet. And and their bias was showing. Like, come on, bro. You got to get that shit around. I know I hated Revival, too. I hated Revival, too. And I kind of have my arguments about his other previous work. But you ain't going to... he inspired a whole list of rappers from Kendrick Lamar, Tyler, the Creator, Big Sean, Nicki, all these rappers, Logic... So until I hear until I hear Mac Miller inspire another generation of rappers, which is going to come years from now, don't ever compare him to M. It's the bottom line.
I mean, you went into deep
I know.
Over the top. Because if we're just talking about overall impact, all I got to do is say 2002.
But you got to really explain it, because some of these kids were born in 2002.
Number one album. Number one movie. Number one soundtrack. Number one single. All in 1 year.
Game over.
Mac Miller's better. Like, dude, does it slap though?
Again, that's what we're going off of. Impact. That's what I'm saying. Impact M is easily top 5. You can definitely make an argument top 3 all time in hip hop as far as overall impact and what took place. Like, M would not be able to survive in the social media era at all.
They would have got him the fuck out of here.
He would have never been able to survive during that era.
He would have been a 6'9".
Yeah, he would have came out at the right time, because that was when the
Boy
boy and the girl
bands.
bands were at the height of their
Pop
popularity.
was really popular, and he was the
MTV
outcast.
was at the height of what it was doing music-wise,
Yeah.
and he just came at a perfect time.
He was the representation of hip hop in white form,
Right.
pretty much. And he rapped really good. Mac Miller is. You lucky Mac Miller was the one, he didn't go full pop. Because you remember when he first came out with Ariana Grande, he was rapping all that pop shit. You remember that?
When?
That Ariana Grande song when she first came out and he was on that record. You remember that pop record he was on with her?
Yeah, but I mean, that wasn't how he started out.
Yeah, I know. But then
No, I mean,
they were trying to
that's-
transition him to be a pop star.
Yeah, but I mean,
Remember
that's the price you got to pay when you're dating a pop
Yeah.
star.
No, they weren't
Exactly.
dating yet.
Well, it was there. It was leading that way.
Leading
Yeah,
that way,
you
but I
know.
remember they were trying to make him a pop star kind of, because he has the look and he has the voice for it, but he was like, nah, and he's doing what he's doing now, which I respect. Like, this album Swimming, I gotta really listen to it, but Mac Miller is over here, Eminem is over here, so just let Mac Miller be great and let M be great and just let it be that.
Now, again, if Mac releases 3 or 4 albums after the fact, and you want to compare discographies,
Then we can
for
talk.
sure. Like
Yeah.
we'll have that conversation. I have no problem doing that, and he might pass him up just because of the albums that M was releasing towards the latter end of his career. They don't hold up well. But if we are talking about overall impact, stop it. Get some help.
Stan, all right, Jordan. Stan is in the fucking dictionary, bruh.
Yeah,
Like, let it,
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Mac Miller.
for sure.
Another album that dropped last week that
Right.
surprised the fuck out of me. Denzel Curry.
Yeah, it didn't necessarily surprise me because I was actually the one when he was on, not this last XXL freshman list, on last year's. You were kind of looking at it and you were like, oh, I don't fuck with none of these. And I'm like, nah, there's a few. I was like, Denzel Curry for sure. And you're like, really? And I was like, yeah, he's dope. You just gotta give him a chance because he has like horrorcore elements.
Yeah. And he's a really rap.
Right. So he released his album Taboo, which he uses numbers for the spelling. So everybody's looking at it like, what the hell's TA 1300? Until you realize that when you put the 1 and 3 together, it makes a B. And you're like,
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
Aha!
Aha!
Age your code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he divided this up into 3 different acts. So the first act is 4 songs. Overall, there's 13 songs, but he split them up into 3.
It was crazy when you look on Apple Music, they separate them as disc. Mm-hmm. It was kind of, I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm. So the light is the first 4 songs, gray is the next 5 songs, and then dark is the last 4 songs. And it's to the point now where hearing Cash Maniac, Sumo, and Super Saiyan Superman, I actually want to see him live to hear what those sound like.
He could travel
Live.
with Travis if you want to keep it funky.
No, for sure.
I like Taboo just for the smoothness of it. The first half of the album with Light, those were my favorites. Mm-hmm. Gray was kind of the gray area was kind of but the track with Sirens with JID. Oh,
JID came and did his thing. And again, Denzel is one of those wild cards because you look at him and you're like, he's just a trap rapper. But then when you start listening to his content,
he can rap.
He not only can rap, but he's very socially and politically aware. Mm-hmm. So there are elements there. And then the same things with Sirens leading into Clout Cobain. That was a dope transition. Very, very good. DJ Dahi, of course, so he produced on this. Illmind produced on here. Charlie Heat, which of course.
Perfect.
And then you got Jay Graham. Jay Graham did Upper Echelon for Travis back in the day.
Wow.
So he was on Clout Cobain. And then, who else was on here? Yeah, and then they funnel out throughout the rest. Dark was actually, I went back and listened to it, Dark, on about the 3rd or 4th listen. That's when I saw the vision and I was like, all
Okay.
right, I get it. I'm sold. I'm really excited if he makes a stop out here in the Bay. I'm really excited to go see him.
If Kanye ain't gonna travel with Travis, if Kanye's not gonna tour, I'll see him going on tour with Denzel Curry.
Oh, yeah.
They both have similar sounds,
Oh, yeah.
and they kind of could mesh in together if you ever put them on a playlist.
Definitely.
So that could be pretty dope.
Definitely. Did you get a chance to listen to it?
Nah, not yet.
Yeah, check that out this
I'm
week.
going
Yeah.
to, though.
Yeah, it's
For
cool.
sure.
Yeah.
There's other music that dropped.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to talk about these, but if you listen to the playlist, a couple of the albums that were and EPs we're talking about, some tracks ended up on there. So I was going through Apple Music, just scrolling to find some new music, and then happened to come across Drew's That Dude, which is a electronic R&B producer. So he had The Vault 1 and 2, which one of the songs made the July playlist, so shouts out to him. Then you had West Side Gun, who of course is signed to Shady. What's the group name with his brother?
West Side Gun, and I know what you're talking about though. I know exactly what I forgot.
So he dropped his project, Supreme Blind
Isn't that the Crispin Wall shit?
Yeah, so that's the alternative cover. There's another cover which is him in a I think his bandage wrapped around his face with a shotgun. It's hardcore rap. Like it's hardcore rap. I liked it, but in listening to it, I was like, why did M sign them? Not because they're bad, because again, I like it. It's a really good project. But you gotta be prepared to listen to East Coast horrorcore because they come from Buffalo.
Oof.
So it's a whole different style.
Different style.
But if you like underground sounds and those type of styles, this will definitely fit. But and even if you don't, it's actually worth checking out. To at least
you were thinking, why did M sign them?
I'll listen. Damn.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about why did M sign them because there's no market for them mainstream.
M thinks as a rapper.
At all.
That's his problem.
Right.
He thinks more of a rapper now as a businessman.
Right. So, but that was my issue because it was like, you could have at least just given them a cosign. Because now they're doing these records.
Put them on.
Which, they have that element, but it's like, how are you going to
You could have put these niggas on Revival. Right. You could have put Boogie on Revival. You could have put... He pissed me off again. Go on.
That's your man. That's your man.
Yeah.
And then we got G Herbo and Southside. I don't know if you heard it. I ran through it. G Herbo, honestly, his album last year, if I was doing a solo top 50 list, he probably would have made the cut right at 50. He's a wild card, really. Like, he bounces so much off the beat. Like, it's sometimes it's hit more than not, though it's missed for me. So with him being with Southside on Swervo, like, it had some decent stuff, but not the you get to like the second trap and you're just like, nigga, the beat's over there. Why are you rapping over here? Get back in the pocket. What the fuck are you doing over here?
What's his name? Silk the shocker ass nigga.
Yeah. But at least Silk was making was a part of some hits.
Yeah, rapping off beat.
Yeah.
He was just battling.
So
I don't know how he just did not want to stay on beat ever in his life. Like it was like he's like no.
He was fighting the beat, man.
Literally.
I will not conform.
I'm not gonna rap.
I mean, Herbo had some highlights on here. So he had Catch Up with Chief Keef. Juice WRLD made an appearance, which is alright. Swervo was definitely a highlight, which was the second one. But then outside of that, it was kind of just like, all right, bro, I get it. You don't like.
How many tracks?
There was 14.
Yep,
it was under 50 minutes though, so there was at least that.
See, those trapper rappers, they need to get the 6ix9ine shit at least 20 minutes and then leave.
Yeah, I mean, if you like G Herbo, you're gonna like this. Again, for me, he's hit or miss. This one was just too much miss for me. So I mean, it is what it is. I might go back and I might grab those 3 tracks and see if they contend for the playlist. And then in the midst of YG dropping, a few weeks ago, he dropped his first R&B act that he signed to 400 Records. Mitch. And Mitch dropped his album Space. And as I'm listening to Space, I'm laughing because he sounds just like YG if YG was an R&B singer.
Wow. So YG he's singing about blood shit and gangster shit?
No. It's just it's still R&B. But it's as if, like how YG described it on his Instagram was actually perfect. It was R&B player shit, not no simp ass shit. And that's what it was.
Isn't that what R&B is now?
Yeah, but this was more, even when it's like Mr. Steal Your Girl stuff, it's like danceable stuff. This was more laid back,
okay.
That kind of groove. I give Mitch credit because there actually was a storyline that you actually followed through with
on the whole album.
Yeah, okay. It's an issue he's going through with his girl, which becomes his ex-girl, as he's going through diving into the music, and her whole stance throughout is like, why can't you just do music with me? Why do you gotta, just that type of deal? And then it gets towards the end when he realizes he made a mistake. So then her final offering on it is like, we can still be cool, like I'm good, but I'm good. I've grown, which is probably gonna lead into the next project they decides to do.
Space. That's why it's called Space. They
yeah.
need space.
Yeah. So it's worth checking out. But I want to say
everywhere.
when he sounds like YG, it sounds like the Tooted and Booted days YG was in.
bet
So
you
it's
Mitch Biley was on
gonna
that.
take some growth for him to go. But it's worth checking out.
I'll check that out.
Like it's definitely worth checking out.
Bet you Mixed by Ali helped him. That's why the album sounds focused.
I wouldn't doubt it. Definitely wouldn't doubt it.
Other music dropped. Hell of music. Oh, what's her name? Ellie Mae dropped her follow up to Boot Up.
Yeah, I still got to listen to that.
Me too.
But we missed Sierra. She dropped her recent single "Level Up," and then dropped the video for it, which then raised a lot of debates on people who would you take, Beyonce or Sierra? And
The most talented what?
Dancer.
Yeah, Sierra.
Like, easily, but for some reason they
Sierra
were.
dances like she takes from Janet, Michael, all types of dance
but
moves.
you know how the hive is. They couldn't just let her have it, and it was like, well, I'll take Sierra, but in overall, this is that. And I was like, you can take Sierra and not like
shit.
Yeah, like come on now, like
when it comes to all around, like of course Beyonce, but when it comes to dancing and putting on a dope show,
Sierra, it's easy.
have you seen the Level Up video?
I saw some of it.
Oh man,
I know she does her shit.
oh man,
Yeah.
just feet everywhere, feet all over the place.
Hey, having a kid, living her best life, living her best life, living it up with you niggas.
Well, I'm gonna hate that song by the end of this episode.
I ain't fucking with no future niggas. She living her best life.
Ooh, I see what she did there.
Yep, see? Yep.
Wale dropped his. And then Wale dropped his visual for.
Before that, the remix has come out for Level Up.
Oh, really?
And it's a throwback in a way. Because on the remix, Missy Elliott and Fat Man Scoop.
Music makes you lose
Exactly.
control.
Yep.
Music makes you. Let's go now.
Yeah.
Let's go now.
So that's a dope way to kind of bring the nostalgia back.
Yeah,
That's cool. So that's going to be dropping pretty soon if it hasn't already dropped already. But like you were saying, we finally got the video for Black Bonnie.
Without Jacquees.
Without Jacquees, unfortunately. But it just looks like, from the way Wale was making it sound, and Jacquees too, scheduling just got in the way. And that's pretty much what it sounds like. But the video itself was dope.
Yeah, Black Power.
Black Power. He had the setting where they were in the motherland. He had the setting of them as Black Panthers. And then them in the 90s.
Oh, shit.
Same, but the 90s situation was kind of like reminiscent of Do the Right Thing.
Oh, okay.
And then it dove into present day, which is how, when you see the video, you'll understand the storyline.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know what Wale got planned, man, but something's coming.
Yeah.
Has to be.
I'm excited for it.
And Khaled dropped his third Desperate single, because that's what I'm calling it.
No brain.
See, first it was Top Off with the Carters. That didn't work. In future, that didn't work. Then he tried to get Cardi, J-Lo on a record. That didn't work.
No.
Now he got Chance, Quavo, and Bieber the God.
Yeah.
Get the explosions. Bieber the God. that was funny. One more time. Bieber the God. Yeah, Justin Bieber was looking rough, but he just in the video he was. I mean, if you follow him on social media, he looking just don't care. He looks like a hippie. He don't give no fucks no more. I mean, after dropping albums, going on tour, you don't care. The song itself was blah. It was a pop record.
It's blah, but to me it works it works to close out summertime.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
It has longevity to at least go through Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
And then once you're really back in the mode of school mode, closing out the year of work and all that, then I feel at that point that's when it's gonna lose its luster.
I mean,
right time.
Bieber, I mean, because Bieber has been quiet for a while. He hasn't really dropped no music because he's about to get married.
Yeah.
And all that. And JC told me, he said he's not going to release no music till after the wedding.
Yeah, he said basically that, which was he's focused on living his best life.
Ain't going back to you pop shit niggas.
Yeah. Or pop shit bitches.
I mean, he working. I feel like this wedding's gonna be soon, and he gonna drop it out of nowhere.
Right. Now, what we were saying was, do we think that he's just not doing music right now? No. I feel like he's doing music, but in terms of actually releasing it, he wants to give the time and hold the time that he has with his fiance as they're engaged to really just enjoy that time, get married, go through the honeymoon, and then after that, that's when he said he's going to be ready to come back.
The music's gonna be trash then. He's gonna be in love.
I mean, he was in love with Selena.
But they were going through problems, and that's why his best album, Journals, people say Journals is his best album. That's when he was going shit with Selena Gomez. That's when they were breaking up and shit.
Yeah.
Journals was his best album.
So it was Never Say Never and then Journals?
It was Believe. Then it was Journals.
Believe was damn good too.
Believe what that was the last essence of young Bieber. That was Bieber at his peak. Young Bieber at his peak.
But his Believe was his Chris Brown exclusive.
Yeah, and then Journals was Confessions, I guess.
Journals was
you got that in you? And it was
Journals was actually how I learned about Chance the Rapper.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew about
That's
Chance.
when I went back to... I knew about acid rap.
Yeah.
But I didn't listen to it until I heard Chance, and then that's when
I knew about Chance since 10 Day, the 10 Day mixtape. But, yeah, I remember, Journals happened, and they said, like, we got pop records for days. He just wanted to go a different direction. And then he released Purpose, which I call the pop My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. It's like a perfect pop album.
Yeah.
10 tracks. It's like, for him, it's the perfect pop
album. Yeah, at that
album.
point, you're right, because at that point when Believe came out, that was pretty much when Usher was like, we just gonna throw the bag and we're gonna bring real, authentic writers to give you adult
Pooh Boy is all
material.
over Journals.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Well, I shouldn't say that, because Pooh Boy's been with them for a while.
Yeah.
I think that was when Usher was like, all right, Pooh, let's knock the kitty stuff off. Give him that quality stuff. And we all know Pooh Bear. Pooh Bear was like, say no word, man. I got that all day.
And that was, to this day, Journals is his best album. Personally,
he had a trifecta.
Yeah,
Believe, Journals, and Purpose.
You don't have to do living my best life.
I ain't making no more music for you, niggas.
Kind of like Justin Timberlake, Justified, Love.
We ain't gonna bring him up right now.
A 2020 experience.
Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about him.
The first one, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about him right now.
Wow. Okay. So,
is there a reason to talk about him?
No, I'm just saying trifectas.
Trifecta.
That's what I was talking about.
We're past this trifecta.
Well, I was trying to prove a point.
We're long.
Justin's,
removed. We're long removed from his trifecta.
Yeah, I know. After part 2, that's why I don't count 2020 part 2.
I just count it as a whole.
I say part 1.
2020 experience. That's what
2020
it was.
part 1. That's what I call it. It's 2022 never happened to me.
You're talking about 1020.
1020. I can kind of see it, kind of don't, Anyway, if we go through more music, again, it's just so much shit.
Yeah.
Her dropped a Prelude EP to her album. I Used To Know H.E.R.
It was cool. It was decent. I mean, you know how I am with EPs. The music was great. Don't get me wrong. But we know her album. We know her album's coming up.
Right.
So I know not to put a lot of stock into this, other than she's on the right track. Hope maybe this track with Bryson Tiller, because that was a good one. Maybe that one's gonna appear on the album.
It probably will.
And then we'll go from there. But shouts out to her.
Another one that really surprised me, came out of nowhere, is Queen Naija.
Yeah.
She's apparently really famous on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, and she released her R&B, a debut EP. That shit was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was surprisingly good.
5 tracks, very smooth.
Very smooth. She has a great voice.
Definitely.
And
I think, was it 1 or 2 tracks that were dedicated to her son?
I think it was like one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good song. She's a good writer.
Oh, yes.
Very,
she
very
wrote
good
all,
writer.
and she writes all her shit. That's even better. Then you put me on this nigga, Kaleem Taylor.
Kaleem Taylor, yeah. He, again, I was going through the electronic genre just because, Joe Budden podcast brought us to The Code. And then as I was looking through The Code over the past few months, I was finding some other stuff. So it was just that it was slow time. So I was like, all right, let's see what else we can find. Kaleem Taylor popped up, and he sounds more R&B than electronic.
Yeah.
This guy can sing. Like, he's dope. And then, of course, was it one of his tracks made the playlist? Let me see if I can find that real quick. Let me get that exact title. Walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, Walls was the one that made the cut. But overall, that was a 6-track EP. Walk Away is the one that's getting a lot of love from people. So maybe I'll try to find a way to fight for that for this month's playlist. But overall, yeah, that was a good project. I like that.
And then the final EP that came, I guess you could say this is Busby at the movies, because I did go see a lot of movies. I saw the Mission Impossible movie, which
I heard everybody been saying that.
Tom Cruise, man, he's a fear junkie. He's not a fear, he's like a thrill junkie. He's just...
I heard a lot of people say that was actually the best one in the series.
I won't say... I mean, it's entertaining. It's really, really entertaining. Tom Cruise is a fear junkie. But I saw another movie, too. I saw Blind Spotting.
I'm jealous.
I know you are.
I've not had the time to go see it.
I know you haven't, but I did. So, movie is pretty much a coming of age dramedy that takes place in Oakland. And when I say Oakland, it is in Oakland because it stars Daveed Diggs, like we talked about last week. That was from Hamilton. And there is kind of a hip hop element. That's, you know how in Hamilton there's always rap and rhyme.
Yep.
So his boy Raphael Castle. Yes, Raphael Castle.
Raphael Cassell.
Cassell. I'm fucking up names. Raphael Castle.
What you get for throwing it in my face, motherfucker.
Ooh. Anyway, he's his token white boy or whatever, his token best friend in Oakland that always gets him into some shit.
Of course.
And but they're part of a moving company, so they always go in there and move stuff around, and while they're in there, he always starts rapping. You know, he kind of just talk, they just be rapping and shit like that. So it's kind of spread like that throughout the whole movie. I'm not going to give up the whole plot of it. But after the movie was over with, this track started playing, and it was knocking. I was like, that's probably him rapping. So I asked Siri, like, yo, what's this track called? And it showed, and it revealed that he released an EP. The Blind Spotting EP, Collins EP, which is the character he plays.
Okay.
And it was his EP. It was him and Raphael Castle. And it's like 8 tracks. I think 6 or 8 tracks. And there's features from E40, Mr. Fab,
nice.
some singers. Oh, man. And they're all rapping, man. And I guess it's like, and there's going to be other soundtracks that are going to come out called The Town. Okay. It's going to be more about Oakland. I told JC you need to watch the movie to get a good understanding of it, because it is just an EP. But even without seeing the movie, it's a really good EP. Really good soundtrack. Like, that kind of goes with your prediction, saying the soundtracks are coming back.
Okay. Yeah, tomorrow I think is going to be the one day this week where I actually have downtime once I get off work. I think I'm just going to go to the movies right now.
Well, you can't use no movie pass.
I still can. So I'm going to use whatever's left of movie pass, but I can still use it. It's just this movie ain't
in the last. In the last days.
But I'm gonna fight it because it's black owned. So
yeah,
I'm gonna rock with it till the end.
Yep.
Or at least when they figure it out. You never know. Ain't no AMC by me though, so
hey, AMC got my mind, soul, and body.
Well, yeah,
AMC VIP cut.
All you gotta do is take an Uber right down the street.
Hell yeah, AMC cut.
Gotta go jump on a damn freeway to go get to the AMC.
AMC cut. AMC VIP cut. Anyway,
that's one way to go into the next topic.
Yeah, documentaries. You got strength to watch this. I don't.
Yeah, Rest in Power, Trayvon Martin Story, Part 1 aired this past Monday.
Produced by Hove.
Produced by Hove, BET, and Paramount. All came and released that. First episode, of course, it's definitely going to be tough to watch. You go back and revisit that night. Then you factor in 3 of his parents, because you have his parents and you have his stepmom. They actually play back them explaining what happens when they heard the audio tape of one of the neighbors calling 911, and they can hear Trayvon screaming before the gunshot comes in.
Oh,
so
that's nice.
You actually go through that scenario. But they basically kept it to that night, and then the days after, when the sheriff's department wouldn't file charges. So then I forget who the civil rights activist that they brought on to, I don't know if he was, I forget if he was the lead lawyer or if he played a main factor. But he was pretty much like the new age Johnny Cochran, especially for the South, where he's gotten a lot of cases that probably wouldn't have never seen the light, so brought to the light just by putting pressure.
Right.
And yeah, he heard the case and he was like, no, this is not open and shut. We're gonna do what we can. Pretty much just like Johnny Cochran, the tapes. He was like, no, we're gonna get these tapes out. Like, that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
So then when it ended, I initially thought that it was gonna be all last week, where all 6 episodes were just gonna run congruent. But I guess they're doing a Monday over the next 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So where it ends is after the tape has been revealed. Obviously, now Zimmerman gets put into custody. But then what his mom says was, I had no idea what the outpour was going to be. And at that point, the images start coming out, the Black Lives Matter, the marches, they show Kaepernick kneeling, and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of one of those things where I'm never going to downplay how somebody feels in the sense of if it's too powerful, I'm not gonna watch that.
Yeah.
That's not me to be like, no, you're bad for that. You need to watch it because it's hard to watch. Mm-hmm. You're not the only one who's told me that you're not watching it. Larissa's not watching it. I've had some other friends that are not watching it. But I'm very, I don't want to say content, but I'm proud that that everybody a part of this has brought this to light, because this is one way where there's no way in hell you're going to try to rewrite history on what happened.
I mean, this is more for future generations to see.
Right, exactly. Yeah. This is for the younger generations coming up. Really, in essence, you don't want to call it roots, but the similar impact where you have the younger generation sit with you and you're watching this
that happened.
This happened. And this unfortunately could be happening to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
My only hope is that it's like very accurate. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that nothing's messed up. Basically.
Right. Yeah, that's why Jay's shout out to
like the actual story.
Right.
Shout out to Hov though. He's the one that was strong arming this, and what's after this is going to be the Emmett Till movie. Mm-hmm. Nope.
Well, that shit itself is picking up steam because the woman that said that he did it. Of course, her tell-all memoir last year was like, he didn't do anything.
Now they're reopening the case and shit. Now it's just like, to me, I can't watch it because I don't want to be pissed off. I know the significance of it, I get it, but up there with Roots and what other movies would I never want to see? I never watched 12 Years a Slave fully because.
I had no issue watching Roots. The only issue I had watching Roots, two things. Well, three things. One, it was too long. Two, one of the characters, one of the damn Africans ended up being O.J. Simpson. I was like, nah, I'm good. Okay. And then third, one of the slave masters was the Brady father.
Yeah.
The Brady Bunch.
My mom told me back in the day when that miniseries was on, she said white folks were really uncomfortable every week. Yeah. They'll have it on big screens and it would just say Roots.
What was funny was I was hearing a lot of elders, they were telling me, and it was funny because white people were like, oh, we get to see what was going on. Let's tune in. And he said, after that first damn episode.
They're like, shit. Yeah, well, and there's one of the movie I only watched once. Amistad, saw that like twice. Fruitvale Station, only watched once, never again.
Yeah, Cleo and I went to go see it in theaters, never saw it again.
Yeah, good movie. Never watch it again though.
That's another one that's very Oakland, very Bay.
Yep, and then dies. Yeah. And there was one other movie, 12 Years a Slave, that, and this is it. For Michael, as a fan, I can't watch that shit again. My mom said she has that up there with all the slave movies. And this is it. He's like, I can't watch that movie. I was like, why? She said, like, she puts all that and that Michael shit. And I was like, why? Because it was like his last days on Earth, and it was just gonna give me anxiety and all types I can't watch it. I'm like, well, makes sense. Yeah,
that does.
That's the truth. Shit, he was fucking moonwalking, then dead the next day. That's crazy to think about.
Right. So there was that, Doc. Of course, I'll be tuning into part 2 tomorrow and have some feedback for the next episode on what goes on, detailing that. Larissa and I also started watching, we started watching, then we finished.
See, you put me on to it.
Orders.
You saw the trailer, like, yo, this is fucking dope. So I was like, okay, and I was literally about to watch it.
The trailer was fire, so I thought it was going to be a Last Chance U type with the marching band. I forgot the school name, but they were in Daytona Beach. Matter of fact, I'm gonna look up the name to get it accurately right.
Just keep talking about it. Because I saw the trailer. The trailer looks pretty dope. And
the trailer was dope.
I was thinking, okay, this could be dope. And I was watching something on the WWE Network, and I was talking to JC, and then JC tells me about the show.
Yeah, so the Bethune-Cookman marching band, also the BCU. Initially, I thought this was going to take place over a full-fledged season.
Like, probably 10 episodes or something.
Well, there's 12 episodes. 12. So that's not what the issue was. I thought it was going to take place over a football season because, the marching bands and that's the show.
Yeah.
What I didn't anticipate was that each episode was going to be between 8 and 13 minutes only.
What?
Yeah.
What kind of shit is that?
I know. They were only between 8 and 13 minutes. And that's including the ending credits.
Wow.
So
That's a web series. That's
Right.
a YouTube
So
web
when you
series.
really break it down from intro to
It's like a
from the
10-minute
actual
show.
content, you're probably looking at anywhere between 6 and 10 minutes tops.
Wow.
And when I tell you they breezed through this, they really only filmed 3 to 4 weeks. And that was over the summertime and the very first performance that had nothing to do with an actual game. It was like the battle of the bands that they have to start the year off.
Each show is 10 minutes. Of course they breeze through it. Like, you
Well,
know
no,
what I'm
it's
saying?
not-
Like,
it's not
it
about-
doesn't make
yeah.
sense. Dude.
Why would they put that on Netflix?
Yeah.
But here's
That's
the
what I'm getting
kicker.
at.
Here's the kicker. You want to know when this was filmed?
When?
2016. So there was 2 years worth of time between this. And as I'm watching this, knowing all this, again, the content was good. But in what my expectations were
Yeah.
and what I was hoping for,
Just didn't match.
the first 10 to 12 episodes, so basically the whole season, had they done it where it was like, I'll even give them 30 minutes. Had it been a 30-minute to an hour-long episode per, that whole season could have been broken down in the first 3 to 4 episodes.
Wow.
And there was actually so much they could have did with that too. One of the band members, he had a relationship with his mom, and she came back into his life. They could have ran with that. They had another section leader, the flag twirlers. One of the girls had taken over. It was her first year as captain. Another girl actually got demoted from captain to this year because a couple of the girls on the squad fought, and they put it on her because she was the leader. She was supposed to be watching them. I feel like they could have had a dynamic there. They didn't take it up with.
What the?
The band itself was dope. The band leader was dope. But there wasn't enough to go off of. And like literally, we legit finished that series in a matter of 12 hours. Because we watched the first 2 or 3, then we went to sleep, woke up, and finished the rest of the season.
So that's like half an hour.
dude.
If you watch it in one sitting, it'd be like half an hour.
You watch it all in one sitting, you're done in like 3 to 4 hours. 3 hours tops.
But you said it's 12 minutes.
12 minutes, you got 12 episodes. You know, again, sometimes you're going to want to go piss, you're going to want to go grab some food and all that, you know what I'm saying, stretch or whatever. You're just going to sit there. So, I mean, overall, you're probably going to take 2.5 hours. But, yeah, I was like, okay, I guess. For sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was a waste of time.
All right, it wasn't a waste, but it wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting, like, some Last Chance U stuff.
That's what, yeah, by the way the trailer looked, it looked
Right.
like that.
Yeah, so, I mean, definitely go check it out, but don't have your expectations high for it to be a Last Chance U or one of those documentaries where you're going to be fully invested. Because you're going to be done with this shit in not even a full morning.
Damn, dude. That's
Like an hour.
Yeah.
kind of horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, other shit that was randomly happening all last week that we didn't have a chance to talk about. Nas said that he's gonna drop his quote unquote real album soon.
God, man.
Now this kind of made me mad because now it makes me not even like listen to Nasir now because he said that Kanye didn't even begin working on his album until 5 days before the release date.
Yep.
And he said his whole time in Wyoming was quote unquote weird.
Yeah.
So whatever. So I guess the next album he's gonna have a whole bunch of Wizza and Swizz Beats production, and it's coming very soon. Which he also said his album was done, and we waited 2 years for Nasir.
Yeah, y'all can wait another 2 years for that. I'm good.
Whatever.
I got my fix off that. It is what it is. I was just laughing hearing them talk about, yeah, those were just some weird sessions. And I started thinking back to all the people on social media who were calling me a hater for not fully liking Nasir. And I'm like, even the nigga that recorded this shit didn't even like the process and what came out of it.
Now that just made me like, ugh, even those tracks I do love on that album, I do like that, still like the album. But now that I said Nas didn't really care about it like that, he just alluded to that.
You know what you say after you said that?
What?
Bonjour.
Oh, fuck you.
Yep.
And well, you know who also saying Bonjour is Disney? They're still saying Bonjour to James Gunn.
Yeah, and the whole cast was.
They
what the fuck they was thinking.
They pretty much put out a joint statement, pretty much telling Disney to give him a second chance because he's a changed person. Disney said, "You better take your ass back to work.
Better get your asses ready for phase 4. We ain't got time for this bullshit.
We'll kill y'all in the next movie, but right now, take your asses back to work." They pretty much said, "We got money to make. We just got Fox. We got all this shit. You ain't gonna fuck this up. This money. We get other writers. The fuck."
They probably looking at them like, "Did you see the deal we just got from Fox? You fuck around with us, we will kill your characters, and we will pull the unsung characters from X-Men, and we will make them the new Guardians of the Galaxy."
You feel me? Well, yeah, they could do that too, and they're under contract.
Yeah.
And under contract. So yeah, bring your ass. And you could be a moping crowd all you want till you see that check.
Right.
And let's see, J-Lo, it got announced that she's going to get the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award at the VMAs.
Definitely.
Well deserved.
To her, for sure.
Well deserved. People were mad that Missy Elliott didn't get it. It was the rumor that Missy Elliott was going to get it, but she's going to get it probably next year.
Yeah, she's got to get that.
I mean, she will.
Eventually, like, she has to.
She will get it. But
sure.
J-Lo, I'm not mad at that. Jennifer Lopez get it. I'm not mad at that. She owes a whole career of death to Selena anyway. But anyway,
you know the story about her portraying Selena, right?
what's the story? I think I probably know it if you tell me.
So we all know J-Lo's pretty famous for her ass. Mm-hmm. They actually had to put pads on her in the movie because her, as big as her ass was, it still wasn't what Selena's was.
She didn't fit into her outfits.
Yeah. So they actually
Selena
had to
had
put
ass.
Yeah.
Man.
That's why when cats say anything for Selena,
Anything for Selena.
anything for Selena. Yeah.
Let's see. And then Monique was defending Roseanne. See, that's her sister. That's no wonder why she didn't get that Netflix bag.
It's everything that she's been in recently. Like, it's all just backfiring on her.
I mean, duh.
Like,
what'd you
wholeheartedly.
expect?
Like, everybody that went and defended her, they read that and they were just like, oh.
You one of them.
Yeah.
It was
And I
like
I
comics.
yeah, and I was just like, I tried to tell you.
We all tried to tell you.
Meanwhile, Netflix, like we said in the last episode, Netflix about to drop a 47 damn comedy special with
Oh,
47 different comedians at the start of next year.
Yeah. And you told me about this. I still don't believe there's going to be a Living Single reboot.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't necessarily know if it's the cast return. I'm going to actually pull that up real quick. I don't know if it's the cast return or if they're just doing a full-fledged reboot, but either way, it got greenlit.
For what station?
I don't know. I just know it got greenlit.
I just know they're also going to do a Buffy reboot with, I don't know if it's going to be like with Josh Whedon is going to still oversee it, but they said there's going to be a black lead for it. So I don't know if it's going to be a black Buffy or Buffy's going to be the new Giles, like the mentor for her. I don't know. I thought Zendaya should play that. Well, they'll get
Oh, it
something.
looks like it actually, they all might be coming back.
Really?
Hey, hella old. Didn't one of them die?
No, they're all alive. They're all kicking. Matter of fact, Erica Alexander and Terrence Carson, they were just seen a few weeks ago in Essence. They took a photo together.
Probably going to be on Netflix or maybe one of these streaming services.
Now, if they're all coming back, now I'm at least a little bit interested.
Yeah.
Because I mean, now
Yeah.
some of them are going to be married. Then you got the issue with old flings and all that. So
Right.
that might be something.
I mean, this is the trend.
It's a hell of a lot better than Martin. I'll tell you that much. There's no Martin without Tommy, as far as I'm
Yeah,
concerned. So,
pretty much. Just let it die.
Yeah.
It ended after season 4, not season 5.
Unfortunately, there was a season 5.
Anyways,
Just like the
5 was still there.
no.
like
It ended after season 3.
Boondocks.
It ended after
four of
season
Boondocks
3.
is there, man, whether you want to
Nope,
admit it or not.
it ended after season 3. So Def 20.
That's why they have Trayvon Martin documentaries. That way you can't rewrite history.
Oh, I can just ignore it. Take a knee and ignore that.
That ain't gonna do nothing.
And do something. Anyway, Jermaine Dupri's getting the band back together. He's gonna have a So Def cultural currency tour. That's what it's called.
Yeah. I'm excited for this. I actually want to go see this if they make a stop out here.
So he's gonna bring the Brat, Jagged Edge, Lil Bow Wow, Escape, Anthony Hamilton, them
I was
franchise
very surprised to see
boys.
Anthony Hamilton was on there. I was like, oh, for sure.
Bone Crusher, Jaquan, and Youngblood. So
Oh, Young Bloods, man.
Youngbloods,
yes.
man.
pretty much
Yes.
all these niggas ain't got shit to do, but let's all get together and make some money.
Unfortunately, the only act that's not going on is Crisscross because, of course, one of them passed away.
Yeah, I just remember that So Def anniversary show that Jermaine Dupri did. That was one of the best shows I've ever seen. When he brought out
dope.
everybody, that was one of the rare occurrences. Like, wow, he has hits. He brought out Mariah, brought out Hove, brought out hella people.
That was dope.
Then Bow Wow came out trying to do. What did he do? He did some of his like older shit, but he didn't do Lil Bow Wow records.
Yeah.
Like, he was trying to ignore his past.
Yeah.
Serious, man?
Yeah, he didn't
Those
do
are like
Bounce With Me. He didn't do What's My Name. He just did his older, like, when he got older. Like, no, bro.
Come on, man.
Fresh ass him. No one wants to hear that shit. And what happened to Bow Wow? I saw he had like a little. He said he wanted to quit music and he was about to send money to he was gonna cash app people his money because he don't give a fuck no more.
I was very upset because I'm usually on top of my Bow Wow news.
Yeah, you usually are.
And I was 2 days late.
And how the hell did I see this? And I just you know me when I see some fuckery.
That's what happens when you got to do 5:30 in the morning shifts.
Especially if it's Bow Wow.
I don't have time. I can't stay up late.
Especially on Twitter. My life, bro. Welcome to my life.
Well, I mean, shit. Welcome back.
True.
Especially if it is Bow Wow, you know I'm gonna ignore that shit.
Yes, I don't know what he was. He's just somebody said something on. Oh, that's what it was. Somebody put up how he was talking about how he was in love with his current girlfriend, and then they were like, "Oh, well, you was at the club doing this, and that." And they put a picture, a video of him just being at the club, just standing there. I don't even think he was doing anything. Then he got pissed off because he's like, "Don't be trying to involve yourself. That's why I don't fuck with these bitches because they always trying to hate when a nigga in love."
Shut up, Bow Wow.
And then he got fed up again, and then he was like, "I'm tired of this shit. I'm gonna cash app all my money. Like I'm just gonna get a job at Kinko's or some shit like that. Costco, whatever he was talking about doing." And I was mad because I was like, damn, I could have sent this nigga my cash app and I could have taken care of all my bills this month.
And then he didn't send nobody no money.
Yeah. And then I found out he didn't send anybody money and I was like, you a liar, you bastard. Like,
you that surprised about what Bow Wow does.
It ain't about being surprised. It's just you lied. And
you lied. Sound like DJ Khaled. You a liar.
Yeah. You are hiding the truth.
You are hiding the truth.
Speaking of that, Pusha T cut some shows out from his tour.
Apparently half the damn tour.
And then people, Drake stands were like, see, he's losing the battle. And I'm like, yeah, but didn't Drake have to push his tour back too? So
and the show, they say the shows ain't really selling out like that either.
Right. And then, so there's that. And then I'm also looking at it from the standpoint, he just got married and he's looking to make a child. So,
And be a father.
Yeah. And let his boy come home.
And don't be a deadbeat motherfucker on Border Patrol. Ooh. Ooh. Still have that image in my head, man. Shake your body.
Def Jam, they teased a sequel for, remember Def Jam?
Def Jam fight with Joe Budden and all them shit.
Yeah, I'm so down for that shit.
Yeah, they say for Atlanta, LA, Chicago, or Miami.
Right, so I guess they're looking at where they want to have the next stop at. So
that'd be in LA.
And then finally, so as we were talking in the last episode with the Wild 'N Out crew and the Azalea Banks, we were trying to figure out what actually took place. Well, now we know. Because some of the Wild 'N Out crew, they were on tour, just doing a run, and they got asked the questions, so they explained what happened. And come to find out, it was DC Young Fly that made her cry, but it wasn't for what she was saying.
You gotta back up pretty much. Didn't we talk about it last week?
Yeah. That's why just to follow up. Because remember, she was saying they were talking about her skin color and her depression and all this, and DC's like, I didn't say shit about that. He goes, she was clowning on me. So I was talking about how her braces didn't have no damn wires and she only had bottom braces. And then she ran off the set and was crying. And when she ran off, that's when I started going in more. And then that's what happened.
See, the thing about Wild 'N Out, man, it's just a one big ass roast session, especially the Wild style. It's just a roast session.
Man, look, they clown Nick Cannon, who is the creator of this show, about
in front of his lupus.
Well, that, Mariah, like, everything.
Safari had nothing to do with the show. He was sitting in the crowd and they roasted Safari the whole show.
Mac Miller told Nick Cannon to his face, I don't have to roast you. Eminem already did that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, if Nick Cannon, the host of the damn show, could take jokes, well, at the same time.
Day in, day out, bro.
At the same time.
You know what I mean?
Azalea Banks, I keep saying, has mental issues. So she's crazy as it is. So it is what it is.
Nah. That's her own damn fault.
Anything else y'all want to say?
I actually did see one more funny thing on Twitter that actually had me in fucking tears. It was but it was close to that. It was it a fucking shark or it was some sea animal, and the caption read, when a No Limit rapper starts getting in his groove, and then Master P comes in the background, and then when you press play, the damn fish went, oh my God. That shit, and what made it worse was I actually saw it. It was a couple days after we did 97. So I was up late, and I was legit crying. Like, I was at the desk, just like tears streaming down my. Like, I was laughing that hard. It was so because it was accurate as hell. You remember Fiend getting in his bag, and then all of a sudden, Master P just.
I'm sorry. I'm still just thinking about the whole Jackson shit. Just.
Oh my God,
was
man,
just-
get over it.
That shit was funny as hell, dog. I just sent you the picture right now.
Wow. You guys are sitting right next to each other, but you still sent him a picture.
Because it happened last week, and I took a picture of it because the shit was funny as
You
fuck.
sent him a picture.
Exactly, it's the cover. Ooh.
Yeah.
So that was episode 98. We're two episodes away from 100.
Yep.
And I can't wait, Nicki Minaj. I can't wait to.
But in between
read
that
this
time,
shit.
we got a week off to wait for what she's presenting.
So we don't know who's dropping.
Right.
Somebody coming.
So in the meantime,
Might be
you
Carter
can
4.
always.
on Twitter.
Well, he apparently dropped a single. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes out. But either way, hit us up on Twitter. Find us on the official Illogical Sense account. That is TILLogical SP. And then, of course, you can find me, JC No Hunnits, on Twitter, Instagram. I rarely be on Snapchat, but if you want to try to find me,
No one's on
there.
Snapchat now, man. Everyone's on Instagram story now.
And then, of course, you can like
Insta
the
Snap.
yeah.
Insta Snap.
And then, of course, you can like the Facebook page, the Illogical Sense Podcast.
And then you got me, Mr. Busby. That's my Instagram, Mr. Busby40, lowercase o8 on Twitter. And yeah, you know where to find me.
You can find me all social media platforms. Beats be killing.
Don't you have something?
You got an announcement. Yeah.
Hey, man, I was about to bring that up.
Hey, well, nah. It's your time to shine now.
I was just
Then we
about to
end it.
say that, though, bro.
And over.
Yeah, this last Friday, I dropped my first EP.
Hey.
Pre-roll pack. And this Friday, I got the second one coming out.
Oh, shit.
Pre-roll pack volume 2. Then the Friday after that, pre-roll pack volume 3.
But wait.
There's more.
The album.
Oh.
The debut album. The roll-up.
On Kobe Day.
Kobe. 824.
There you go.
Alrighty then.
Everybody look forward to that for sure.
So, even though you with us, Jed York, you're not with the opposer. The middle finger still goes up. Fuck you, Jed York. See y'all whenever.
Peace.